In his iconic I Have a Dream speech, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. painted a picture of a better future and demonstrated the power of dreams to create a better world. This resonates even more today as we are all living in a world where challenges have become even more complex and we can no longer solve problems alone. Dreams are powerful, not only for us as individuals, but they are equally important for leaders and teams at all levels within the organization, our communities, and our world. Through diversity of thoughts, incubation of new ideas, and boundary spanning collaboration, we no longer have to dream alone. When we dream together, we leverage each other's support, experience, and perspective to shape the collective vision that propels us to discover the brave solutions and actions our world is so desperately calling for. To fuel this collective leadership, we must get back to visioning and ignite the power of dreaming together. With this, the engaging and interactive 3-day international conference in the series Youth 2025 Netritva 4.0 Leadership in the Era of Connection and Collaboration. We will provide an opportunity for leaders in different fields to express and exchange views and share their perspectives on different leadership styles suited in the current challenging environment. We'll discuss the different leadership elements and also gain feedback on one's thoughts and views on leadership style. Provide forum to today's youth to listen to leaders from diverse fields and make them understand what vision leaders are expressing for future organization. I, Swati Mathur, along with my conference team, welcome you all to our 3-day conference. Now, briefing you with the conference schedule. We'll be starting with the inaugural session in few minutes. After that, we'll be having a tea break around 11:30 to 12 o'clock. Then the next session, youth icon session, which would be discussed with Ms. Sudha Chandran. The session anchor would be Dr. Vijay Prakash Anand. Is scheduled at 12 o'clock. All the sessions will be held here only. At the end, we'll be having the poster competition from 4 to 6 along with the technical session. Even the poster competition will be held here only. I request all the students from all the colleges kindly give your names for the poster competition. You can make a team from 3 to 5 group members, and during our lunch break, which is between 1:15 to 2:15, you can give the names to the conference team or you can also come to me. Now I request you to kindly maintain this decorum and discipline, as in few minutes our guest will be arriving. Now I request my conference coordinator, Mr. Vinay Khandelwal, he will brief you about the conference app.
So very good morning everyone. So we welcome you to the 10th International Conference. So for easier access and convenience for this conference, we have created an application. This application is free to download for all. The link will be shared shortly over your emails. So this is a brief layout of the application. So I will be just briefing you a little about all the features of this app. So this is how an application will open in the smartphone. The link will be shared shortly. So this is the first page, the welcome page. You will see brief all the announcements which are there in regard to the conference. There is a registration form link, so you can register also, those who have not registered. Coming to the another tab. In the second tab, you have the details of various sessions. So who is going to chair that session? Who are the guests of honor? What are the timings? What is the venue? So all of those details are given in this tab. You can open any one of them. Coming to the next tab, uh, coming to the next tab, you can see the profile of various speakers who are going to speak at this conference. Coming to the next tab, so in this conference, we have 150 plus paper presentations. So the details of them are shared in this research section. So the details, various details like the time, slot and venue for presentation, they are there in this section. And lastly, coming to the team tab, so you can meet the various team members here. A brief profile of all the team members can be checked here. So that was all. The link will be shared shortly. I now invite Ms. Swati Mathur, conference coordinator, for further process.
Thank you, Vinay. Our inaugural session would be anchored by Dr. Samar Sarabhai, our Dean Academics. After having completed by full-time MBA in marketing in 1997, Dr. Sarabhai joined corporate and worked with companies like Patni Computers, Reddington India, HCL Ecosystem, Driving Channel Sales, Retail Initiative, and was Profit Center Head. After joining academic in 2006, Dr. Samar Sarabhai worked for ICFI Business School and also earned deputation for 2 terms at ICFI Dubai. Prior to joining Jaipuria Institute of Management in Jaipur, he worked as a professor and head of the department at Tapmi Business School, Jaipur. With a doctorate in retail management, he has 4 books authored, edited by him, and has also guided PhD students. He is trained in the case methods of teaching and business simulation by Harvard Business Publishing. In few minutes, Dr. Samar Sarabhai will address you all and will take over the inaugural session. Thank you.
Hello. हाँ 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 ठीक है हाँ वो ये का डेवलप करता हूँ
Chief guest of the session, Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji, Padam Shri and Honorable Member of Parliament. Keynote speaker for the session, Shri Richard Rick, Shri Sharad Jaipuria ji, Chairman, Jaipuria Institute of Group of Institutions, faculty members, colleagues, and my dear students. A very good morning to all. It's a bright sunshine day, and it would not have been a brighter day for all of us as we are starting the 10th edition of Youth Conference at Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur. The theme of the conference, Netritva 4.0, Leadership in the Era of Connections and Collaboration, denotes the importance of the new age leadership in influencing the youth of today and shaping the world at large. Before we formally start the conference, we would like to invoke the blessings of Ma Saraswati with a lamp lighting ceremony. May I request all the dignitaries on the dais to proceed for lighting of lamp. Today, we have amongst us Chief Guest of the session, Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji, Padam Shri and Honorable Member of Parliament. I will request our Chairman, Shri Sharad Jaipuria ji, to welcome our Chief Guest with the Green Certificate. Sir, as per the Jaipuria tradition, a tree has been planted in your name at Sundarban jungles. You can track the growth of the tree with the tracking number given below in the certificate. May I request our Director, Sir, Professor Prabhat Pankaj, to welcome Shri Richard Rekhi with the Green Certificate. Jaipuria Institute of Management is not only involved in imparting the knowledge, but we take pride in creating citizens of tomorrow by making them socially conscious and ethically aware. We take pledge to be a worthy citizen, and we do so by taking pledge of Jaipuria Code of Conduct. May I request all to rise to take Jaipuria pledge. Please put your right palm on your heart and repeat after me. I, your name, understand that I am responsible for my behavior and that I must uphold the highest standards of academic and professional integrity. I recognize that my purpose is to lead people and manage resources to create value that no single individual can create alone. I will manage my duties with loyalty and care and will not advance my personal interests at the expense of the institute and society. I will refrain from corruption, unfair competition, or business practices harmful to the society. I recognize that my decisions affect the well-being of individuals inside and outside my institute, today and tomorrow, and I will strive to develop myself so that I can help our society, country, and the world at large in the pursuit of growth and happiness. Thank you so much. It is always good to sit back and take pride and motivation from the past. I will request the video of 10 years, 10 glorious years of youth conference in the series of Youth 2025 to play. Can we have the video, please?
India is passing through the phase of demographic dividend. The share of the working population in India is larger than the non-working age population, thus it provides a window of opportunity for the youth to lead the world. The youth of India will help us become a 5 trillion economy. So, in today's era, our yuva will show the path of hypergrowth and prosperity.
नए भारत का कर्णधार भी है। युवा नए भारत का विस्तार भी है। युवा नए भारत का नियंता भी है और युवा नए भारत का नेतृत्व करता भी है।
However, the realization of the benefits of a potential demographic dividend is not automatic and thus presents many challenges, as without proper policies, the increase in the working population may lead to rising unemployment, fueling economic and social risks. This calls for forward-looking policies incorporating population dynamics, education and skills, healthcare, gender sensitivity, and providing rights and choices to the younger generation. The education sector plays a crucial role in empowering the country's youth to take the lead in coping with these challenges. So in order to create a platform for inspiring youth to deal with these challenges and for developing leadership qualities in youth and the larger society, we at Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur, planted the seed of the International Youth Conference in 2013-14. Let's now hear from our director, Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, as to how the idea of the International Youth Conference was conceived and how it was made into a reality.
The idea of Youth Conference started in 2013, and now I'm happy that the 10th edition is being celebrated on the theme leadership. We picked up this theme of youth because India is a young country, and we all know that India is passing through demographic transition, and we have this advantage of having almost like a median age of 28 years in India, which makes India as the youngest country in the world. The question is that youth can be asset, youth can also be the liability. So we started looking at how we can develop our youth on various aspects of their personal development and their outlook so that they become the global citizen. And there were four priorities that we set for ourselves. One is that, developing youth as far as their education and skill is concerned. It's only the educated and skilled youth can go global. Second, a healthy and happy youth can go global. And more women coming forward is the power of the day. And if more women are not coming forward, then we're undermining our demographic dividend. And the last one is the leadership, because the kind of leadership which youth is going to display and demonstrate in their life is going to make them global. And so we are out there to celebrate the power of youth through these conferences.
The youth conference began in 2014 when the seed of the event saw its maiden flowering and discussions on harnessing India's demographic dividend began. India had the biggest percentage of young people in 2014, and conversations on such an appropriate theme produced excellent outcomes. The second youth conference in 2015 highlighted the growing importance of marketing and communication for young India and educated diverse stakeholders on its complexities. The third youth conference was held on the theme Skilling Young India for Global Leadership, as skilling is of paramount importance to creating the leaders of tomorrow. The fourth youth conference was done with the contemporary theme Harnessing Youth for Development, Sustainability, and Happiness, Imperatives and Challenges for SAARC and Emerging Asia, to educate young people about the growing significance of sustainability and happiness in culture. We at Jaipuria have long held the belief that change is the only constant and that it evolves according to the needs and behaviors of young people. The fifth youth conference, Harmonizing Education, Employment, and Empowerment, the role of academia, business, and government, was developed to understand youth and their linked nature. This theme, with the aim of redefining education and making the youth employable, was attractive and drew many brilliant minds from all around India and outside who were ready to learn. Further, the sixth international conference focused on celebrating youth as innovators, trendsetters, and leaders in the digital age. Jaipuria has been a notable trailblazer in digitizing itself, and it recognizes the urgency of the situation and is encouraging its youth to embrace technology and the digital world. The institution raised the bar for its conference by inviting innovators and thought leaders from other sectors to exchange information. The seventh international conference stressed the importance of business ethics and focused discussions on reimagining leadership for a global workforce, fostering professionalism and ethics for young leaders. The conference brought together academicians, industry experts, and policymakers on a single platform to carry out intellectual deliberations, discuss the current scenario, and suggest strategies. To instill this idea, the eighth conference's theme was Envisioning Business for a Better Tomorrow, Innovate, Integrate, and Impact. We firmly believe that innovation is the capacity to view change as an opportunity rather than a threat, and despite numerous setbacks, we have triumphed. The ninth international conference, whose theme was Envisioning India's Future, Growth, Innovation, Sustainability, Happiness, and Well-being, was held to spread the idea that having a healthy mind is just as important as having a healthy body. Now, as we begin our 10th International Youth Conference in the series of youth, we complete a decade of our contribution to and empowerment of the youth. Over the years, we have consistently served as the foundation and carried the torch for skilling and developing youth. And our journey to this day has been supported together by various national and international academicians, industry experts, and policymakers on this single platform. Our conferences have not only represented academic deliberations, but have also celebrated the spirit of being together. Participants from all corners of the world and from different disciplines have come together to celebrate this together. So far in these conferences, there has been enormous research presented by participants, along with international and national deliberations throughout these years, and we are still growing.
Namaskar. We welcome in the 10th edition of our international conference in the series of Youth 2025 Netritva 4.0. Thank you for coming.
We have amongst us our chairman, Shri Sharad Jaipuria ji. Shri Sharad Jaipuria ji is chairman and managing director, Guinea International Limited. Shishara Jaipuria comes from a business family and is presently chairman and MD of Guinea International Limited, a composite textile plant based in Neemrana, Rajasthan. In addition to this, he is president and Integral Education Society, which runs a primary and secondary school in name of MR Jaipuria School in Lucknow with over 4,500 students, and also runs four management schools in the name of Jaipuria Institute of Management at Lucknow, Noida, Jaipur, and Indore. He is associated with large number of chambers and associations like PhD Chamber of Commerce, FICCI, Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, and WPO. I invite Shishara Jaipureji for his welcome address.
It is a matter of great pride and privilege for me to extend heartiest greeting and warm welcome to our chief guest of the 10th International Youth Conference, Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathore ji, Padma Shri, Khel Ratna, ABSN, Arjuna Awardee, Honorable Member of Parliament from Jaipur Rural. Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathore ji is a dynamic leader, a versatile personality, and a true youth icon. His life journey itself is a source of inspiration for all of us, especially the youth of our nation. A two-time member of parliament, an NDA cadet, trained soldier who also undertook counter-terrorist operations, and an Olympian, a sportsman with not only with several gold medals at the highest level, but also a man with a golden heart. And in the 2 minutes that I interacted with him just now, I really felt it's not gold, it is diamond. It is our privilege and befitting to the occasion of Colonel Rajwendra Singh Ji Rathore will address us today and guide the youth on the path of global leadership. I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to Shri Richard Reiki, entrepreneur and a board member and former CEO KPMG, to the inaugural session of the conference. Shri Reiki will be delivering the keynote address on the theme of the conference. I am sure Shri Reiki's professional advice will go a long way in developing the youth of our nation as a global leader. So when I came to the institute this morning, I was asking Prabhatji that 4 is added in every word that we are talking today. But I came to know from Mr. Reiki, now we have moved to 5, Industry 5. And I'm sure he'll be telling us more about the five word which has been coined and has already started in countries like Japan and other developed countries, and the new concepts that are coming in 5. I am told that in this 3 days conference, there will be 2,000 plus attendees from 70 plus colleges, and more than 90 research papers will be presented in the technical session. Academicians of repute from India and abroad, and a large number of top professionals from the corporate world will join as speakers. This is indeed a huge number, and I welcome each one of you to this conference. I am sure the conference will be beneficial for the attendees and also for the speakers. The theme of conference is Netritva, leadership in the era of connection and collaboration. It is quite befitting and most appropriate time to talk about Netritva when the entire world is looking up to India for leadership. Today, the world is dynamic, fast-paced, and disrupted by a newer innovation every day. Traditional leadership methods could not hope to keep up with the workforce transformations and new business needs. This is where leadership core comes in. It is firmly grounded in an appreciation of the essentials of leading with people rather than leading people per se. Netritva core is more humane. This approach promotes leaders who are tech savvy, who work in a collaborative style rather than a pure directive mode. These leaders are change leaders, not just change managers. Leadership for revolution is not only about embracing new ideas and breaking barriers, but also about not being afraid to try something new. Swami Vivekananda's thought on leadership precisely resonates with it, and I quote, leader is one who knows how to obey commands before knowing how to command. Learn obedience first, unquote. I don't think there'll be a better example than Mr. Rathod to explain more on this because he has been in the line of command and also has started giving commands now and throughout his career and in his political career as well. Lord Krishna defines three specific disciplines that are required for effective leadership. Discipline of learning, number one. Number two, discipline of speaking properly. And number three, discipline of equanimity. All three disciplines are important for effective leadership. Today's leadership authorities also agree that effective leaders have to be effective learners. Leadership is not only about teaching people to follow a certain path or to do a certain thing, but is also about constant learning. Every student has the potential to be a leader, and the teachers, mentors, faculties, and administrators have the responsibility to establish a climate that nurtures their growth and self-sufficient, engaged citizens, and to develop their leadership skills. Youth leadership is powerful, and it is our responsibility to find avenues for every youth to develop into a leader. I would like to congratulate the director of the campus, Dr. Prabhat Pankaj, who's been able to provide great leadership and taken the outcome of management education for all our stakeholders to new heights. I congratulate the organizers of the conference, faculty members, staff and students for organizing this important conference. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening thoughts. Before I invite Professor Prabhat Pankaj for a conference introduction, allow me to introduce him. Dr. Prabhat Pankaj is an international researcher on happiness and well-being, a master in economics with gold medal and PhD in applied economics. He teaches a course on happiness and well-being to B-school students. Dr. Prabhat is a Harvard-trained leader in higher education and currently working as the director of Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur. He was an invitee at World Government Summit, Dubai in 2019 by the Ministry of Happiness, UAE. He delivers sessions on student-centered teaching learning, outcome-based education, and happiness. IIM Ahmedabad has written a case on student engagement and learning, which Dr. Prabhat Pankaj has started at Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur. Sir.
Very good morning, all of you. Distinguished Chief Guest, respected Colonel Rajvardhan Singh Rathod ji, keynote speaker, respected Sri Richard Rekhi ji, Conference Chair Dr. Lokesh Vijayवर्gीय, and the conference team, esteemed faculty colleagues, staff and students of Jaipuria, Jaipur, esteemed faculty and students joined from various colleges, conference delegates, guests and speakers, members of media, ladies and gentlemen. International Youth Conference is celebrating 10 years of its existence, and it is more than befitting that Padma Shri, Khel Ratna, ABSM, Arjun Awadi, Honorable Member of Parliament from Jaipur Rural, Colonel Rajvardhan Singh Rathod ji is gracing the inaugural as the chief guest, and he will be addressing the audience. Colonel Rajvardhan Rathod is a youth icon and an inspiration for the youth, not only in Rajasthan but all over the country and the world. We feel blessed and fortunate that a leader of his caliber, who has always led from the front and led by example, will be addressing this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to join your hands together with me and hear it once again for our chief guest, Colonel Rajvardhan Singh Rathod ji. Sir, I welcome you to Jaipuria Jaipur campus and to the inaugural session of the conference. I'm equally excited and feeling privileged to have Sri Richard Rekhi ji, entrepreneur and board member and former CEO KPMG, as the keynote address uh, in this session. So your professional advices will go a long way in shaping the leadership quality in today's youth. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands together once again in welcoming Sri Richard Rekhi. On behalf of all my colleagues and students, allow me to extend a warm welcome to each one of you in the inaugural session of the 10th edition of International Conference in the Series Youth 2025. The Series Youth 2025 started 10 years back, and in the year 2013, we are celebrating its 10th edition. This in itself speaks volume about the consistency with which Jaipuria has been able to nurture and cultivate the culture of deliberation for the upliftment of the youth of our great nation. Netritva 4.0 for youth of India is of particular significance. It is through developing a great Netritva that our youth will be able to go global and take up leadership positions. The entire globe is looking up to India with hope and as a shining star. It is up to the youth to take up the challenge and deliver. India has the distinct advantage of being the youngest nation in the world at 20 to 30 years of median age, as against 37 years in US and China, 45 years in Europe, and 49 years in Japan. However, the advantage window might close soon enough, and the quality of the young population in terms of knowledge, skills, attitude, and habits will decide whether they will be able to make it to the world stage or not. Leadership quality, deeply rooted in India's inspiring and rich culture, will make a big difference. It cannot be any other opportune time to discuss youth leadership as we can do it today when India, under the leadership of our Yashasvi Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, has taken up the G20 leadership. World is looking up to India with hope and reverence. When I am standing in front of you today, I can tell you with great pride that the youth passing out from Jaipuria is not only walking out with an aspirational job in hand, but also carrying a culture deeply rooted in compassion, societal concern, and a global mindset of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. They are the ambassadors of our great nation, and they have the knowledge, skill, attitude, and habits to go global. It is a matter of great satisfaction for me and everyone associated with Jaipuria team across geography and businesses that most of Leadership 4.0 traits have been explicitly manifested in whoever we are and whatever we do. The Great Place to Work listing of Jaipuria for the fourth consecutive year in 2023 with a score highest in the last 4 years speaks volume about the culture of trust, transparency, camaraderie built over a period of time. The Jaipuria principles ensure that we share our experiences, views, and feedback in a highly receptive and reciprocal environment while keeping the interest of our stakeholders at the center of all we do. This, in essence, is the spirit of One Jaipuria. At Jaipuria, we realized the significance of positive education quite early and started a credit course on happiness, and a happiness laboratory has been added recently. In this laboratory, we are using electrophotonic imagining camera calibration software to understand individuals' energy flow in the body and positioning of 7 chakras. All these come with an ancient wisdom of Ayurveda, naturopathy, and Sri Aurobindo's teachings. We have been able to combine Indian wisdom with Western ideas flowing from neuroscience, psychology, economics, sociology, and history to make it a study of happiness. Our faculty and students are taking deep interest in this field of study, and we would like to take it forward and make it available to the rest of the world. The conference is being attended by 2,000 plus participants from across the globe in offline as well as online mode. It is a matter of great pride that students and faculty colleagues from more than 70 plus colleges from all over the country are participating in this conference. I welcome all of you to Jaipuria Institute of Management. We have received 161 research papers for this conference, out of which 90 plus papers will be presented in 14 technical sessions spread over next 2 days. I consider it as a big achievement and a milestone that a book containing 40 plus select papers is published by Bloomsbury India and being released today in the inaugural session. If I can give you the expanse of last 10 years of our youth conference, we have been able to touch 13,000 plus participants, 250 plus international speakers and delegates, 400 plus national speakers, and 750 plus research papers presentations. This indeed speaks volume about the thought leadership and commitment for the youth of our great nation. The panel speakers will be deliberating on several sub-themes such as compassionate and inclusive leadership, global thought leadership for navigating 21st century, and leadership in action over the next 3 days. We have 2 Youth Achiever awardees this year, and they are also interacting with the audience in talk shows in this conference. The Youth Achiever awardees are Ms. Priyanka Verma, General Manager, Horlicks High Science Portfolio and Medical Marketing at Unilever, Ms. Shubham Mehrotra, CEO, Logico Media, co-founder, Rufa Beauty, and a TEDx speaker. In this conference, you will also be able to meet and interact with celebrity icons, Ms. Sudha Chandran, Indian actress and a well-recognized Bharatanatyam dancer, Dr. Aditi Govitkar, wellness coach and Miss World pageant winner, and none other than our own celebrity from Rajasthan, Padma Shri Gulabo Sapera ji, the famous Kalbelia dancer and Bharat Gaurav awardee. Each one of the speaker and each one of the session in this conference is worth listening and attending. I'm sure no one would like to miss them. I express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to each one of the speakers for sparing their valuable time and sharing their views with our esteemed audience. The youth series of international conference and the celebration of its 10th edition is a testimony of our thought leadership and a symbol of our commitment towards mission of developing learners as professionally competent, ethically aware, and socially sensitive individuals. This would not have been possible without the unflagging support of faculty, staff, and students. I acknowledge their work, commitment, and dedication towards taking the cause forward. I congratulate Dr. Lokesh Vijayvargi and his entire team of FPM scholars and students in organizing the 10th edition of International Youth Conference in a befitting manner. May I request you to join hands to hear for the organizing team of this conference, faculty, staff, and students of Jaipuria, Jaipur. I welcome the speakers, delegates, students, faculty, and professionals in this conference and look forward to learning from their deliberations and participations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have amongst us Sri Richard Rekiji as a keynote speaker. Sri Richard Rekiji has over 39 years plus experience in consulting and professional services and has worked in Arthur Andersen, Ernst& Young, and KPMG, where he has spearheaded the firm in various capacities. He is a qualified chartered accountant in India, besides serving on KPMG Dubai board where he is helping the Dubai firm in transformation journey. Mr. Richard is mentor and angel investor also. He also mentors the startups and young professionals in consulting. I, I invite sir for his keynote. Thank you.
Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathod, uh, Mr. Sharad Jaipuria ji, Mr. Prabhat Pankaj and Sukesh Vijayavardhan, and also all the dignitaries sitting here in the audience and faculty, and of course, above all, the students. We are here to talk to you. We are here to share some of our experiences. Though I must admit, when I was leading KPMG in India, I was learning from the youth, from the youngest of our professionals. I don't know what we call it. Somebody told me it's called reverse mentoring. All my decisions that I took in my years when I led the firm was given by the youngest of the young. Some of them were nasty messages, some of them were good messages, but they made me change the firm for the good. So I just want to tell you, I don't know what I'm going to teach you because I learned from the youth. So before we get into, we should understand the situation in which we live in, what is happening in the world. We have all these emerging technologies coming in because we used to keep hearing of technology. Now we hear of new technology. And how many of us are even conversant with it? I decided I'm not a technology person, but I decided I must learn this new technology. I must understand what it is and what it can do for all of us. We have the trade wars going on in the world. We have geopolitical dynamics which are changing by the day. We don't even know who's partner. Every day there are different partnerships coming up. We had the pandemic, and this is not the last of the pandemic. Now we've got people who are going to go into space. God knows what viruses they will come back with. So we should be ready for more such things coming here. The global economic slowdown, which is happening, the World Bank, the IMF is keeping on changing the thing. We're coming into a boundaryless world because of e-commerce. And of course, with the digital currency, which is there, we are changing the way trade is going to be actually done. Climate change, which has become the most important topic today. ESG, if you ask me at the boardrooms, three topics get discussed. ESG, people, and technology. These are the three common items which get discussed at all boards in that order. So we need to understand, even now the Russian-Ukraine war, which is also creating its own kind of issues. Nobody thought it would create so much issues carried on for so long. And we've got an army person with us. He will be able to tell us what the impact of this war is. But from the economic point of view, let me tell you, it has affected supply chain, it has affected agri-product, it has affected oil and gas, and it has affected fertilizers, which, Brazil got destroyed because they couldn't get the fertilizers from Ukraine, and their commodity market suffered hugely. Today's topic is about how we live in a connected, collaborative kind of world. So I must talk about it. So there is greater connections because of social media. Social technology has given social interaction the speed. Earlier, you would get some kind of communication, you would take your time to respond to it. Today, it's all immediate. Increased access to information and disinformation, both. Let me tell you, social media has a plus side, it has a minus side also. People around the world are constantly using social media platforms. In fact, we're all the time on social media. The latest, I'm sure all of you youngsters sitting here would know what ChatGPT is. Now that is the latest, and that is going to impact jobs in a very big way, because our profession, consulting profession, is going to be ruined, because you can go to ChatGPT and get your answer. Why do you need consultants? So consultants will have to become smarter than ChatGPT and be able to give innovative solutions which the clients are looking for. And you need, of course, there is more efficient and faster communication, the rise of e-commerce and online, which is the other thing which is happening. And today, if you see a company wants to set up a business, they don't need to worry about how do they set it across the country. E-commerce is there to make them reach any part of the country. So I think it's a big blessing for people who are there. Organizations are generating richer insight. For companies, there is a site called glassdoor.com. which can give you immediate feedback of what employees are talking about you. You don't need to wait for annual feedback, what employees think. They are telling you there what they feel. And today, if you see social media feedback of people's happiness and unhappiness is expressed there and companies need to react on it. Mr. Jaipuria spoke about Industry 4.0. The new concept that is coming today in the world is Industry 5.0 and Society 5.0. It was Japan that first, in the G20 summit of 2019, launched what they call People 5.0, Society 5.0, where they spoke about a super smart society who would be technology enabled in artificial intelligence, data analytics, and robotics. And we would move to a world which is more sustainable, eco friendly, and zero carbon. Decentralized society, we heard the word mass production when the first industrial revolution took place, mass production. Then, last few years, we heard the word mass customization. And now we have moved to hyper customization at scale, which is a completely different way of looking at it. And one big example of that is the Neom city being built in Saudi Arabia, which is a ground up city with huge investment, which is going to be the first city which is going to be completely eco friendly. A lot of money is going to it. It's a great experiment. The world is going to see where it is going to go. But as we know, industrial revolutions are very swift, fast, furious, and disruptive. And there is no going back. You don't go back to the previous industrial revolution. So now the world is facing a great tide of change, digital transformation, global challenges like climate change, resource scarcity, and social equity, which we keep discussing, how society is getting between the rich and the poor getting divided across the world. Growing demand for industries to expand in the needs of energy. You see, as the population grows, you need more energy, you need more of this. So how is it going to be produced? Hydrogen green, is that the new answer? Is that going to be the one which is going to disrupt the electric vehicles? Is electric vehicle dying before it is born? So these are all things which the world is grappling with today, and a huge amount of global investment by global investors is going into hydrogen green. We have our own minister, Mr. Gadkari, who is completely behind this hydrogen green himself. How does leadership see itself in changing times? I want to give you the example of an eagle. An eagle has impressed me. So on one of my KPMG partners meet, I took eagle as a symbol and says, what does the eagle signify? I don't know how many of you know, the eagle normally lives for 70 to 80 years. When they are 40 years old, they go into hibernation. So what they do, they break their beak, they get a new beak. With the new beak, they take their talons out, they take their feathers out, a new eagle emerges, and then it flies at the same speed. So the reason why I'm giving you the eagle story, when I was at Arthur Andersen and our firm collapsed globally, we were very sad. Somebody sent me the story of the eagle and said, don't worry, you still have an opportunity to survive in this world. I survived. We collapsed in 2002. I'm still living. So I think the story of the eagle it stayed with me very long after that. So the other point which I want to talk to you about is innovation. We keep talking about innovation. We used to talk, oh, there's an innovation club. There are some people doing innovation. Today it is going to be the battle of the century. It's going to be the battle of ideas. Who's going to get the ideas fast? And that's why when organizations are visible innovators, they typically have a forward-looking leader at the helm who never change things by fighting the existing model. If Henry Ford had said that these chariots or these carts which were being run at that time on wheels, can I make them faster? He decided to build the automobile. And that is the biggest, I still say that is the biggest innovation in this century was wheels. Because wheels made this world move. Technology came, but nothing is as big as that. To change something, you need to build something new. And that is something I think we need to, because the old models are all obsolete today. I remember in KPMG, we did a global survey of the CEOs recently, and we asked those CEOs as to what do you fear most? Do you fear your competitor? They said, no. We fear the guy who's sitting in the garage next door. We don't know what he's building. And that is what is India's future. That is what is India's opportunity because of the innovative mindset, the startup community we have created. We can actually build the new world, the new future that the world is looking out for. And we heard earlier that today, you look at most of the CEOs of the IT companies, who are they? Indians. So in many ways, the Indian mindset is something that is today hugely respected across the world in corporate leadership, obviously in political leadership also. Here I would love to talk to you about the Apple story. When Steve Jobs built Apple, you know he was sacked from Apple the first time. He started Apple, he was sacked by the CEO who he hired. That CEO sacked him and he came back to Apple and he lived his dream. But what was his thing? He had a purpose in life. His purpose was to give to the world the highest quality product that they've never seen. He said, don't go and ask the people what they want. You have to give them what they need. And that's what his whole motto was. Apple was the first company that became $1 trillion company on the stock exchange. And it is today the most highly valued. What do they do? Cell phones, iPads, computers, like everybody else. But why are they different? Because they disrupted themselves. They got the iPod. Where is the iPod today? Disrupted by the phone. So I think the world is going to live in a world where I'm seeing a new word emerge, a new word which is called experiment. Experiment. That is exponential improvement that is going to come. It is not going to be about incremental improvement. World doesn't have time for incremental improvement. It doesn't have the energy to wait for that. And this era is going to be of alliances, co-creations and collaboration. Because what is going to happen? You're going to see two competitors compete. In Dubai, for example, we work with McKinsey jointly on assignments because there are certain things that we could do and certain things McKinsey could do. So either McKinsey would not have won the work, nor KPMG would have won, but together we were able to win those large engagements. So you're going to see collaboration between fierce competitors. You're going to see alliance partnerships being built which are never there. Market is the same. Why would you waste your time? Today, the customer acquisition cost is so expensive. Why would you waste your time to acquire a customer? So if you're good in North India, somebody is good in South India, collaborate. Once you've built that highway, once you've got the highway, you can move any goods on it. The point is, how do we get onto that highway? I just came on this new highway, expressway actually, between Delhi and Jaipur. It took me 3.5 hours from my home to the hotel, which I reached. It was fantastic. And it was a great ride, actually, that new expressway. So you're going to see customer loyalty is going down, increased competition. Today, we've got e-commerce platform. The company does not interact with the customer. They don't even know the face of the customer. So how are you going to interact with the customer and change it? So I think it is going to be building trust. I do not know how many of you even understand the word relationship. Relationship is not about give, give, give. You do it 3 times, 4 times, the guy will stop even talking to you. But relationship is about give and take. And it's more about give and not just keep taking from people. So I think we need to learn how to be good. We need to build trust through our actions and not talk about it. Not talk about ethics, not talk about empathy. I heard in the next session we're going to talk of compassion. I think that is something which you should listen very, very carefully because it's something very close to my personal heart. We have to think beyond profit and we have to be emotionally engaged. If you're not emotionally engaged, you will not be anywhere. Today, when companies come up, they disrupt other businesses. We heard the Uber story. Where is Uber today? We heard the WeWork story. Where is WeWork today? The problem is when you disrupt a business, you have to disrupt yourself because somebody is disrupting you. And if you don't, and the biggest story on disruption of disrupting themselves is Amazon. Amazon moved from a bookseller to becoming $1 trillion company today. They are in e-commerce, they are in cloud business, they are in artificial intelligence, they are in streaming videos. What was their mantra? Customer focus, innovative technology, strong business strategy. And I think this is what, and I was talking to one of the professors who was engaged in a team of 18 professors by Jeff Bezos. He was from India. And he was telling me that what he does, he meets all these 18 professors from all across the world and tells them, what is the world going to look 10 years from now? Amazon needs to be there. not where it is today. So that is how leaders think. They think of the future, they disrupt the market, and they go and build it out. We heard in your anthem, we heard speakers speak about it. Purpose, for me, higher purpose is very, very important. We have to go beyond the normal, and there is no better person to talk about higher person than Jamshedji Tata, the founder of the Tata Empire. He was ranked in the top global list of top 10 philanthropists from the last 100 years, and he was number one in the world, not in India, in the number one. That was Jamshedji Tata. What was his mantra? Greater good, caring for people. Before he died, he did not build the Tesco, the Tata Steel, which was built. His son Dorabji built it. He wrote a long letter to him. He said, I may not live to build this factory, but when you build this factory, these are the things you need to do. And that was not about how technical the factory is going to be, how you're going to care for your people, how you build houses, how you build the temples, how you build the mosques, and how you build hospitals and schools for the children, for the workers who are going to be there. That's what Tata stands for. And they proved it in that same Tisco, in the Tata Steel, when they were downsized. Not a single person lost a rupee. They left the company, but they were paid the entire money till their retirement date. That is what Tata stands for, and that is why they are, because they didn't wait to make profits. They shared it with people even before. All our policies in the government, whether it is provident fund, gratuity, bonus, started with the Tatas. They brought this out, 8-hour working day, leave for pregnant women, working conditions of workers, everything. Tata didn't wait for the country to have a law. They did it. And I think every single thing you see of Tata's has been adopted by the country. And I think that is what, and he always believed in higher quality, never attached any commercial thing to his purpose. Never. Commercial was the last thing that he would look at. And I think that is something we should look at. And I tell you, we launched Higher Purpose at KPMG. And my personal higher purpose was firm before self. And I think that is something that you could live and just not talk about. And I remember I was in a global board meeting, I was in the global board of KPMG for 5 years. And we had one of these great IT leaders who came and spoke to us. He saw my personal higher purpose and he came and asked me, who's this person? He asked me to, come and meet him. And he was so impressed with that kind of talk. So I think we all need to look and see how we can live our higher purpose, live it everywhere. And one thing I'll tell you, whatever world we live in, the basic tenets of leadership have not changed. Basic tenets of leadership not changed. You have to connect with your people. You need to put purpose before profit. You always have to help others and not think about yourself. You should believe in giving back to society. We're just speaking about it here. How do we give back to society and be in service of others? Be emotionally engaged. People can see when you're emotionally engaged because then people will trust you. If they know you're speaking from the heart, they will trust you. And always be fair. Even you may hate the guy. I sat in that position where I didn't love all my partners, but when I sat on that and decided their compensation, I never looked at whether I liked him or not. It was about being fair. And I think that's what life is about. You need to be authentic. Don't be pretenders. Pretenders are found out very soon. And you need to lead by example. Be the role model. Let people see you and follow you and not wait for your big lectures to come here. Nelson Mandela said a good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. I was lucky to sit and hear the South African rugby team captain come in address us at Rome actually, in one beautiful hotel. And he came and said that when Mandela became the president, there was huge strife in Africa. And he realized one way to unite the country was sport. And the World Cup rugby was happening in South Africa. South African team was not doing very well. Nelson Mandela went to the training center, had a crumpled piece of paper with him. It was the poem, which is now famous as Invictus, but it was not Invictus. It was another poem written. It became famous because the movie came and it became famous as Invictus. He gave it to this captain and said, for my years of captivity, this poem kept me going. Read it to your team members. Let them learn from it and let's hope for the best. He never once said, win the cup for me. But the captain told his girlfriend, he wants us to win this cup. and they won it. And that day there was so much celebration in South Africa. The blacks and whites came together. So these are leaders who are very different. And there's another leader I want to talk about. Is called Haruka Matsu. He's the CEO of Japan Airlines. During COVID, the airlines was going through hell. People were being laid off. So what he said, how can I stop the layoff? So first he cut his salary. He's saying by cutting my salary, few more people can be saved, I will do it. He moved from expensive suits to absolutely the way the normal people stay. He went and ate in the cafeteria. He used to travel by the train and the bus and not by his own transport, though being a CEO. So these are when leaders lead by example, the airline survived. People respected him because they found he was one amongst them. And that's what leaders need to be, one amongst them. One other example I want to give you is the Oberoi Hotel. They believe in excellence. And if you see Uday Vilas, it is the emblem. I was speaking to Mr. Vicky Oberoi, and I asked him, he said, I will never build a Uday Vilas ever again. That is the epitome to India, or the thing to India, the gift to India. So for them, professionalism, discipline. There is one thing I learned from them. They have something called anticipatory service. We give you service before you ask for it. They anticipate it. And there's a lecture in Oberoi, there's a case study done in Harvard on this, and Vikram Oberoi, the son of Vicky Oberoi, goes and gives this lecture on anticipatory service. It's amazing. For people who have gone to the Oberoi Hotel, the kind of way they treat you, the perfection with which they do it is unparalleled, unmatched. Today we are living in a very tough world. Communities are asking very tough questions. It's no more about being legally right. You can be legally right, but are you ethically right? And I remember when German magazine carried the chairmen of all the big four firms on the cover page and said the world's four biggest criminals, because we were giving tax advice to clients to save their taxes. Of course, all the firms had to pay huge penalties and apologize for doing that and to come back to the real world. But before and then, of course, the spirit of stewardship is that you leave the world a better place than you found it. Be a good ancestor. Plant trees that you will never see. Today we have seen this tree being planted for us. We got this. And this is something that I've been following for a long time. When instead of sending a birthday gift, I give them trees. Because I said, okay, this is the way we can green the earth. And because students are sitting here, I just want to leave you. I hope I'm not taking too much time. I'm sorry. The students are sitting here, and I think it is about being disciplined. And who better than Sir to come and talk about discipline when he goes and wins the medal at the highest level, serves the country at the highest level, and discipline is very, very important. Secondly, don't crib. Destiny is in your hands. You will make your life what you are. And you're going to go into your job now at some time. Never sell anything that you would not buy. Never sell anything that you would not buy. Remember this, because this is something about being honest with yourself, and don't put this thing on somebody else. Always put in that 10% extra. And you see, that is what differentiates a winner from a. Every time you go out, 10% more, nothing more, 10%, that's all, nothing more you ask. That 10% is going to make you into a winner, into a leader, which is going to be there. Remember, your life has a purpose, your story is important, your dreams count, your voice matters. You were born to make an impact. Live life in such a way that when tomorrow comes, how would you like to be remembered? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words. Before I invite the chief guest of the day, Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji, allow me to introduce him. Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji is a two-time member of parliament from Jaipur rural. He served in the army for 23 years, including in Jammu and Kashmir, where he participated in counter-terrorist operations. In fact, he is the fourth generation officer from his family in the same battalion, the Grenadiers, which also was previously Maharana Pratap's force. He graduated from National Defence Academy and then the IMA as a best all-round gentleman cadet and was awarded the Sword of Honor. He is an Olympic athlete participating in sports of shooting. He won 2 gold medals at the 2002 and 2006 Commonwealth Games, a silver medal at 2004 Athens Olympic, and a bronze medal at the Asian Games Doha 2006, apart from winning 26 international medals for the country. He also jointly holds the official world record of highest score in double trap shooting, that is 148 out of 150 targets, that is 99% hits, achieved in an international championship. Colonel Rajavardhan Rathore took early retirement and joined BJP in August 2013. In November 2014, he was made the Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting and was appointed as a minister with independent charge for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in 2017. Colonel Rajavardhan Rathore's wife, Dr. Gayatri Rathore, has served in Army as Major, and they have 2 children. Colonel Rajavardhan Rathore has been awarded ABSN, Padam Shri, Khel Ratna, and Arjuna Award. May I invite you, sir?
आज के इस कार्यक्रम में यहाँ पर मंच पे शरद जयपुरिया जी, रिचर्ड रेकी जी, प्रभात पंकज जी, लोकेश जी, यहाँ पर सामने बैठे विशिष्ट अतिथिगण, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, डेलीगेट्स और खास तौर से स्टूडेंट्स, सबसे पहले तो रिचर्ड रेकी साहब ने अभी जो बातें करी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग, मैं चाहता था वो ज्यादा लंबा बोलें. We need to know that all of you are alive, the students. And what is alive makes sound and moves. So let's give a big applause to Richard Recky. A bigger applause. Get your blood circulation going on. Thank you so much. You know, he spoke amongst many interesting things. He said, the world of tomorrow is about alliances, collaborations, partnerships. So आपका सबसे पहला इम्तिहान, can you collaborate with each other? Let's have a clap in unison. Let's go. No, not as yet, in unison. Only for the students. Come on. Come on. Unison. Okay, thank you so much. I've got you awake. That's what my progress. Thank you so much. अभी मेरे लिए पंकज जी बोल रहे थे कि यहाँ बता रहे थे कि एक ही व्यक्ति में इतनी सारे गुण कैसे हो सकते हैं. मैं बैक बेंचर था. How many बैक बेंचर थे? मैं कभी स्कूल में कभी मंच पे नहीं गया था. मेरी मदर टीचर थी, मेरी माँ टीचर थी, और टीचर चाहते हैं कि स्कूल के अंदर अच्छा परफॉर्म करें. वो मेरे पीछे पड़ी रहती थी कि कभी तो मंच पे जाओ. मैं सिर्फ फैंसी ड्रेस पे गया, वो भी स्केयर क्रो बन के, क्योंकि मेरे सर के ऊपर मटकी लगेगी. What I'm trying to tell you is that if I can do it, you can do much better. I joined NDA. मैंने 12वीं नहीं करी थी, मैं 11th पास हूँ. उसके बाद मैं एनडीए में चला गया था. और एनडीए की अगर किसी ने नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी देखी है तो उसकी एंट्रेंस के ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ा बोर्ड लगा हुआ है और उस पर लिखा हुआ है कि यू कम एज बॉयज एंड वी मेक मेन आउट ऑफ यू. मतलब 16 साल की उम्र में आप जाते हो एनडीए और 3 साल नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी में कर दे मेक अ मैन आउट ऑफ यू एंड सेंड यू आउट फ्रॉम देयर. तो ऐसा क्या होता है? वहां हर पल का हिसाब रखा जाता है. हर पल का हिसाब रखा जाता है. आपके विकास का, आपके प्रोग्रेस का ग्राफ रखा जाता है. वहां पे दंड दिए जाते हैं, वहां पे रिवॉर्ड दिए जाते हैं. वहां पे कोई कानून नहीं चलता. वहां केवल एक जंगल है. And you have to survive there. You have to survive in that jungle. Now, unfortunately, Unfortunately, we've become very soft here. मम्मी पापा है ध्यान रखने के लिए नहीं, सब कुछ है, खाना है, पराठे हैं, सब कुछ है, बढ़िया जिंदगी है। आपने कभी देखा किसी जंगल के अंदर किसी मोटे ओबीज एनिमल को देखा कभी जंगल में? हेलो, देखा किसी? Have you seen any animal in the jungle who's obese? They are living for the day. They are doing their purpose. उसके बाद आराम करेंगे. But nobody is feeding them. Nobody is spoon feeding them. We have to become like that. ये हम बहुत सेंसिटिव भी हो गए हैं, बहुत सॉफ्ट हो गए हैं. लाइफ इज नॉट फेयर. कितने लोग हम में से बोलते हैं लाइफ इज नॉट फेयर? अरे उसको पूछो, किसी को जो 21 साल की 18 साल की उम्र में जिसको कैंसर हो गया, उसको पूछो लाइफ इज फेयर? जीवन के अंदर इतने कष्ट है और हम बोलते हैं कि लाइफ इज नॉट फेयर. लाइफ तो ऐसी ही रहेगी. दी ओनली फेयरनेस विच इज शोन इज इन अ स्पोर्ट्स फील्ड, जहां एक रेफरी होता है, किसी का फाउल हो जाता है, सीटी बजा देता है. जीवन में कोई सीटी नहीं बजाने वाला. यू एग्री विद मी और नॉट? So you have to strive, you have to struggle. And what I'm trying to tell you is that life is not going to just happen. अपने आप ही दिन निकल जाता है, अगले दिन फिर सुबह हो जाती है, फिर दिन निकल जाता है. Life is just happening. No. In the forest, in the jungle, the tiger or the leopard there is driving it. The deer is driving it. The bird is driving it. We need to drive our life. We need our life to be purposeful. कोई मकसद होना चाहिए जीवन का. आज उठे हैं सुबह तो आज का कोई मकसद होना चाहिए, आज का कोई हिसाब होना चाहिए. Accountability to only yourself, no one else. Nobody is. हो सकता है मम्मी पापा थोड़ा सा पूछ ले भाई क्या कर रहे हो, शाम तक कुछ बता दो, लेकिन nobody is going to ask you for accountability. रेकी साहब जैसी केपीएमजी के अंदर अगर हिसाब किताब नहीं दोगे तो थोड़े दिन के बाद में आपको थैंक यू बोल देंगे. इन्होंने बहुतों को फायर करा होगा. So you have to make yourself valuable. पूजा पाठ करते हो? हाथ जोड़ो एक बार और समय को रोको. बोलो समय यहीं रुक जाए. नहीं रुका तो ऊपर वाला भी सोच रहा होगा कि समय, स्थान और स्थिति तो मैं तय करता हूं, ये कैसे रोकने वाले. समय, स्थान और स्थिति ये आपके हाथों में नहीं है, लेकिन चॉइस आपकी जरूर है. उस समय पे क्या करोगे, उस समय को क्या कैसे इस्तेमाल करोगे, ये तो आपकी चॉइस है. कैसी भी परिस्थिति हो, उस परिस्थिति के अंदर आपका निर्णय क्या होगा, ये तो चॉइस है या नहीं? भाई परिस्थिति कुछ भी हो सकती है. यू कांट चूज योर कंडीशंस. परिस्थिति कुछ भी हो सकती है, लेकिन उस बदलती परिस्थिति के अंदर निर्णय तो आपका हो सकता है नहीं. तो चॉइस इज योर्स इन लाइफ. यू हैव टू मेक चॉइसेस. यहां पर इस तरह का कार्यक्रम हो रहा है जहां 3-4 दिन के लिए फैकल्टी जो एक्सपीरियंस अपने जीवन की कहानी बताएंगे आपको. ये सब सुनने का मौका आप किस्मत वाले हो. कब मिल रहा है मुझे बताइए, कितने प्रतिशत लोगों को ये सब मिलेगा पूरे भारत के अंदर? बहुत कम को ये मिल रहा है. तो आप किस्मत वाले हो, लकी हो, आपको वो प्लेटफॉर्म मिल रहा है. और अगर आपको प्लेटफॉर्म वो मिल रहा है तो उसको प्लेटफॉर्म का इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए? बोलो सर, बात कोई नहीं मतलब. और जब हम उस प्लेटफॉर्म का इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो अपने आप हम समाज के लिए, क्योंकि मेरा ये मानना है कि हम एक सोशल इन्वायरमेंट में रहते हैं. और सोशल इन्वायरमेंट का रहने का मतलब है कि सबसे पहले तो आप अपने आप को सक्षम बनाइए हर तरह से, शारीरिक रूप से, मानसिक रूप से, आर्थिक रूप से. अपने आप को सक्षम बनाइए सबसे पहले. और जब एक बार आप सक्षम बना लेंगे, उसके बाद आपका मन खुद करेगा कि अब मैं किसी के लिए कुछ करता हूं. 2-4 लोगों के हाथ पकड़ के उनको आगे खींचता हूं. आपका खुद मन करेगा. उस स्थिति तक तो आइए आप. एंड यू हैव द कैपेबिलिटी. एवरीवन हियर हैज समथिंग और द अदर गुड इन देम. मैंने आज तक कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति नहीं देखा जिसके अंदर कोई खूबी ना हो सकता है आपको वो खूबी अभी पता नहीं हो सकता है आने वाले समय में आपको वो खूबी पता चलेगी, लेकिन खूबी तो है आप सबके अंदर. अच्छा, ये ऐसी बात नहीं है कि आपका जीवन चैलेंजिंग नहीं है। अभी मैंने बहुत ऐसे सब कहा कि आपको करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है। आपको भी लग रहा होगा कि आपके जीवन में तो वैसे ही बहुत सारी चुनौतियां हैं, बिल्कुल। और मैं इस बात को मानता हूं कि मेरे जीवन में जितनी चुनौतियां थी उससे कहीं ज्यादा आज की जनरेशन में चुनौतियां हैं। टेक फॉर एग्जाम्पल सोशल मीडिया। अब सबके चेहरों पे एक मुस्कान आई सोशल मीडिया बोलते हैं। काफी लोग तो फोन पे ही लगे हुए। सोशल मीडिया इज फैंटास्टिक। अगर मैं यहां पर अभी आप सबके बीच में एक लोडेड बंदूक रख दूं तो आपका पहला रिएक्शन क्या होगा? Probably step back, यार लोडेड है, इसको कोई हाथ मत लगाओ। होगा नहीं होगा? सोशल मीडिया इज अ लोडेड वेपन. You have to understand the power of social media and then use it. Weapon can be used for destruction also. Weapon can be used for keeping peace as well. So social media is a weapon, is a double-edged sword. उसका इस्तेमाल करना आपको आना चाहिए। अगर मैं सिंपल तरीके से बताऊं आपको तो इट्स अ फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर. सोशल मीडिया इज अ फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर इन योर हैंड. पहले के मीडिया हाउसेस जो इनका मन होता था वो चलाते थे, लेकिन अब आपके हाथ में एक सोशल मीडिया, आपके हाथ में एक मीडिया है. आप अपने विचार जो भी आपके हैं उसको चला सकते हैं और अगर अच्छा विचार होगा तो वायरल हो जाएगा. बट यू हैव टू प्ले टू योर स्ट्रेंथ. जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि आप में हर एक की कोई ना कोई खूबी है, कोई ना कोई ताकत है. यू हैव टू प्ले टू योर स्ट्रेंथ. अगर आपकी ताकत ऐसी है जिसके अंदर आपकी वाणी में दम है, आपके विजुअल में दम है, तो सोशल मीडिया विल बी अ फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर. अगर आपका कोई विचार है, सोशल मीडिया विल बी अ फोर्स मल्टीप्लायर. बट हम में से कितने लोग हैं जो कोई पोस्ट डालते हैं तो उसके तुरंत बाद देखने लगते हैं कि अभी 10 लाइक आई, अब 15 हो गई, अब बढ़ रही है, अब रुक गई. रुकते ही टेंशन हो जाती है. होता ही नहीं होता? हेलो, are you with me or not? Should I stop talking? Tell me. I can stop. Hello? I'm asking all of you, yeah, are you alive or not? Do you agree with me or no? If you say no, don't agree, you can always raise your hand. I'm ready to accept criticism. So what I'm saying is that social media is good, it's a force multiplier, but you need to know how to use it. अभी मैं 21 साल का था. Let me take you a couple of years back. मैं 21 साल का था जब मैं कश्मीर में गया और मैं कमांडर था. मेरे नीचे 120 जवान थे जिनकी उम्र मुझसे ज्यादा थी और मुझे वहां युद्ध लड़ना था, लेकिन कमांडर मैं था. उनमें से बहुत से ऐसे थे जो पहले भी ऐसी परिस्थितियों में रह चुके थे. बट आई वाज द बॉस, आई वाज द कमांडर देयर. एंड आई मेड देम सिट डाउन ऑन द वेरी फर्स्ट डे एंड आई स्पोक टू देम. और मैंने उनको कहा कि मैं आपके लिए एक वेलफेयर करूंगा, केवल एक आपका वेलफेयर करूंगा. और वो वेलफेयर होगा कि आपको सबको जीवित यहां से वापस आपके परिवार के पास लेके जाऊंगा, लेकिन उसके लिए आपको सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा जो मैं चाहूंगा. तो जब बारिश होती थी तो हम बाहर होते थे, पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे होते थे. जब बर्फ गिरती थी तो हम बाहर पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे होते थे. जब रात होती थी तो हम बाहर पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे होते थे. चांदनी रात हो, धूप हो, कुछ भी, हम बाहर पेट्रोलिंग कर रहे होते थे. हम इतनी पेट्रोलिंग करते थे, हम इतना एरिया डोमिनेट करते थे कि अगर पत्ता भी हिलता था तो आतंकी को लगता था कि भारत की फौज खड़ी. डर लगता था उसको, भय था. What I'm trying to tell you is a management lesson. As entrepreneurs, you will have to be completely committed to your task. 100% committed to your task. You will have to have your men, आपके जो staff है, they have to be committed to you, नहीं तो काम नहीं हो सकता. How do you get them to commit to you? उनके लिए वो चीज करो जो उनके लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है. In my case, taking them back alive was the best thing that they would want. So do something which they know that you can do. बहुत लोगों में गलतफहमी होती है कि फौज के अंदर जो भी कमांडर आदेश देता है, चाहे उसके लिए मरना भी पड़े, तो वो फौजी कर देता है. ये गलतफहमी है. वो फौज का जवान एक मशीन गन के ऊपर चार्ज इसलिए करता है क्योंकि उसे पूरा विश्वास अपने कमांडर के ऊपर है कि जो ये बता रहा है यही तरीका है जिंदा रहने का, नहीं तो सबके सब मारे जाएंगे। वो तरीका, he sees hope in you, that's why he obeys you, he trusts you, भरोसा है उसको, पूरा विश्वास है, क्योंकि दिन रात आप उसके साथ रहते हो। हम जब पेट्रोलिंग करते थे, ये रेकी साहब एक चीज बता रहे थे जैसे मुझे ध्यान में, हम पेट्रोलिंग करते थे तो मैं विजुअलाइज करता था पहले से कि अगर ऐसा होगा तो मैं क्या करूं, अगर इस मकान से फायर आया तो मैं क्या करूंगा, अगर मुझे चारों तरफ से घेरा तो मैं क्या करूंगा, लगातार दिमाग चल रहा होता, which means you have to see ahead, आपको भविष्य देखना जरूरी है और उसके लिए तैयार रहना जरूरी है, क्योंकि जब अपॉर्चुनिटी आएगी तब आप ये नहीं कह सकते अरे रुको रुको मैं तो तैयारी करने दो, ऐसा आपको मौका नहीं मिलेगा। So you have to be on your toes and learning. He spoke about 10% more. How many of you do fitness? कोई करता है, जिम करता है, हाथ खड़े करो, गुड, वेल डन, सिर्फ 4-5, गुड। I don't count, I mean आप सब करते होंगे reps, how many reps? I don't count reps. I start counting when I reach failure. जब मैं नहीं कर सकता उसके बाद मेरी गिनती शुरू होती है, क्योंकि प्रोग्रेस वही है, एक प्रोग्रेस, दो प्रोग्रेस, तीन प्रोग्रेस, प्रोग्रेस उतनी है। When you are tired, when you are dead tired, जब थक जाते हो उसके बाद आप कितना काम करते हो वही उस दिन की प्रोग्रेस। I don't know what else to tell you. बेइज्जती होती है यहाँ लोगों की, बेइज्जती, ह्यूमिलेशन, किस किस की ह्यूमिलेशन हुई थी याद ना करो, शर्म किस लिए आ रही है, मेरी तो हर रोज होती है। I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something very interesting, and after this I'm going to finish talking. Thank you so much. I know you've been humiliated. एक ने अभी तक हाथ खड़ा करा हुआ। देखो भैया, ऐसा है, everybody needs fuel, energy to do something, right? और यहाँ स्टूडेंट्स में 28 साल से ऊपर का कौन कौन है? 28 साल से ऊपर का तो कोई नहीं है ना? So all of you can win an Olympic medal if you want to, because I saw the shooting range first time in my life when I was 28, and in 6 years I had won an Olympic silver medal. So you can do that better. It tells you another thing. It's never too late to learn a new lesson, to learn a new skill. It's never too late. मैं आपको कह रहा था बेइज्जती के बारे में, और मैं यहाँ पर इसलिए आया, मतलब इस टॉपिक पे इसलिए आया ओलंपिक की, कि 1998 जब मैं 28 साल का था, मैंने सोचा मैं शूटिंग करूंगा, और 6 साल तक 1998 यस 6 साल तक 2002 was the first time I won a medal, so 4 years, 4 साल तक मैंने एक भी पदक नहीं जीता था। एंड मेरी जितनी भी यहाँ तारीफ करी गई, स्वॉर्ड ऑफ ऑनर फ्रॉम मिलिट्री एकेडमी, सो आई वाज द बेस्ट कैडेट पासिंग आउट। एवरीबडी सेड कि आराम से जनरल बनेगा फौज के अंदर, क्यों छोड़ रहा है फौज को, ओलंपिक्स में जा रहा है जहाँ कोई जीतता नहीं है, हिंदुस्तानी उस समय की बात कर रहे हैं, उस समय जीतता नहीं है, लेकिन मैं वो करना चाहता था जो मेरा पैशन है, जो मैं करना चाहता था वो करना चाह रहा, वो मैंने शुरू करा। तो बहुत ह्यूमिलेशंस में, हम सुबह हम कपड़े लेके चलते थे अपने साथ, खाना लेके चलते थे अपने साथ, सुबह जाते थे ट्रेनिंग करते थे, ट्रेनिंग करने के बाद कपड़े बदलते थे और फिर जाते थे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स, जहां अपनी फाइल को धक्के लगाते थे, वहां प्यून के साथ घंटों तक बैठना पड़ता था। बहुत सारे अधिकारी जिनके साथ बाद में मैंने काम करा, उन्होंने खूब जम के बेइज्जती करी हुई है, लेकिन जब बेइज्जती होती थी उसको मैं अंदर रखता था, बिकॉज आई नीडेड दैट न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी, आई नीडेड दैट पावर। मुंह से बोलना, पावर जिसको कुछ सुना देना, इससे काम नहीं चलने वाला। तो व्हेन यू आर ह्यूमिलेटेड, जब तुम्हारी बेइज्जती होती है, और आई होप खूब हो, लेकिन उस एनर्जी को अपने अंदर रखो, उस एनर्जी को अंदर रखो और उस एनर्जी को इस्तेमाल करो, फ्यूल to go beyond getting tired, because when you are tired, to go beyond, you need that extra fuel, So you should use that and do well. Another aspect is that we all wake up with a certain amount of energy. We start our day with a certain amount of energy. Let's say it is 100%. वैसे होती नहीं है क्योंकि रात को बहुत देर तक रील देख रहे होते हो. कोई बात नहीं, हम मान लेते हैं कि 100% सुबह उठते हो. 100% एनर्जी के साथ आप दिन अपना शुरू करते हो. आपके सामने एक ऐसा व्यक्ति आ जाता है जो आपको पता है नेगेटिव है. वो तो बात ही नेगेटिव करेगा. वो आपको गुस्सा दिला देता है किसी बात के ऊपर. आप चिढ़ जाते हो. अब आप उसको सेट करना चाहते हो. आपका जो फोकस था, जो मिशन था, वो तो साइड में रह गया. आप उसको पहले सेट करना चाहते हो. तो 30-40% एनर्जी तो वहीं निकल गई. उसके बाद जैसे जैसे आप अपने टास्क तक पहुंचोगे, आपके पास 20-22 एनर्जी लेवल आपके पास बचा होगा. कर पाओगे क्या? दिस इज फोकस. दिस इज फोकस. When I was competing for Olympics, और मैं ये पैदा होते ही नहीं है कि पैदा हुआ और मैं सारी चीजें सीख कर आया. ये मैंने ठोकर खा के सीखी है जो मैं अभी आपको बता रहा हूँ. जब कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति दूर से चलता हुआ आता था ना, तो हम यहाँ तो कोई किताब खोल के बैठ जाते थे, एक्टिंग करते थे कि पढ़ रहे हैं, या कान पे म्यूजिक सिस्टम वो हेडफोन्स लगा लेते थे कि हम तो सुन ही नहीं रहे. टू अवॉइड द नेगेटिविटी, टू अवॉइड एनीथिंग दैट इज नेगेटिव, बिकॉज यू हैव अ फोकस, you have a goal to achieve. Your 100% energy should be only devoted to that. And I wish you all the best. I thank Sharad Saab. What a fantastic, he's been a disruptor himself. इतने साल पहले इन्होंने जो एकेडमिया शुरू करा, जो एजुकेशन हब शुरू करे, that is disruption in itself. Richard Saab, what you were talking was amazing. We could carry on listening. You come with amazing experience. And I wish and hope that you write some of these points down and keep remembering and keep working on it. Knowledge in itself is not enough. नहीं तो किताबें चैंपियन बन जाती. You have to act. और जब एक्ट करना होता है तो फेलियर से चिंता मत करो. यहाँ पर अभी मेरे को एज ओलंपिक सिल्वर मेडलिस्ट इन्होंने इंट्रोडक्शन कराया. ये नहीं बताया मैं 100 बार हारा था. ये नहीं बताया ना. लेकिन मैं हारा था, बहुत बार हारा. 4 साल तक तो मैं जीता ही नहीं था. लेकिन इसका परिचय कोई नहीं देगा आपके जीवन के अंदर. सो कैरी ऑन विनिंग, स्टे फोकस्ड, स्टे ब्लेस्ड. पंकज जी को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि इतना शानदार, टू ऑर्गेनाइज एन इवेंट इज नॉट इजी, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. ही इज ऑर्गेनाइज दिस इवेंट. और मैंने इनसे रिक्वेस्ट करी थी कि स्टूडेंट्स और फैकल्टी के साथ एक ऐसा सेमिनार भी करिए कि राजस्थान के अंदर क्या इंप्रूवमेंट हो सकता है, राजस्थान के अंदर क्या कमियां हैं, क्या गैप्स को कैसे पूरा करा जा सकता है, उसके ऊपर कुछ स्टडी करवाइए और वाकई में कोई ऐसा पेपर दीजिए जिसके ऊपर कुछ एक्शन किया जा सके. इन्होंने आश्वस्त करा है कि ऐसा भी काम होगा. या फैकल्टी मेंबर्स बैठे, डेलीगेट्स बैठे, टीचर्स बैठे, मैं उनको धन्यवाद देता हूं बिकॉज दे आर लोडेड विद एक्सपीरियंस. बट ये एक्सपीरियंस देंगे नहीं आपको लेना पड़ेगा. विद ह्यूमिलिटी यू हैव टू टेक इट. थैंक यू सो मच.
It was indeed a very, very motivating thought and a speech. I really thank you for that. Now, may I request all the dignitaries at the dais to come forward for the release of the souvenir. I request all the dignitaries to be there. We would like to unveil the edited book which we have come out with, the research papers which we have received. We have published 41 research papers under this book, and it's been published by Bloomsbury. Thank you all. With this, we are about to conclude the inaugural session. I would like to place my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest of the day, Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji. May I request our chairman, Shri Sharad Jaipuri ji, to felicitate him with a token of gratitude. May I request Professor Prabhat Pankaj to felicitate Shri Richard Rekhi ji. I would like to thank all the dignitaries on the dais for sparing their valuable time out of their busy schedule to guide and bless us. My heartfelt thanks to Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathorji and Shri Richard Rekhi ji. I would like to thank our guiding force, our chairman, Shri Sharad Jaipuri ji, for his blessing and guidance. I would like to thank our director, Professor Prabhat Pankaj, who has envisaged this series and has very successfully steered this to its 10th edition through his deft touch. I would like to thank the conveners of the conference, Professor Lokesh Vijayvargiya, Dr. Prerna Jain, and their team for putting this session and conference in place. I thank all the participants, researchers, students from various institutes, all the faculty members, colleagues, committee heads, and the audience for making this session successful. We'd like to thank all our sponsors and the principal sponsor, Bank of Baroda. Before we really end, we would like to end the session with the national anthem. May I request all to rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत माता की जय।
We would gather at the same place at 11:55 a.m. for the Youth Icon Session 1 with Ms. Sudha Chandran. All faculty members will come to the dais for a group photograph. The group photograph will happen at the steps near reception. We will break for tea. For the students, tea is arranged outside hostel, and for other participants and faculty members, it's outside 002. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. I request the conference team members to kindly guide all the students near the hostel for the tea break. All the conference team members kindly guide all the other students from the external colleges towards the hostel for the tea break.
चला है बेटा दिन में सपने देखना छोड़ो what do you know about business who will invest in you I will invest in myself to learn everything about business and that's how business is raise funds the world will always question your choices make the right one to begin with welcome to the B school Jaipuria
Hello. Yeah, everyone assemble at basketball court for the tea break. All the students please assemble at basketball court for the tea break.
because I will make my opinions known. So what do you think? The world will always question your choices. Make the right one to begin with. Welcome to the B School, Jaipuria. Entrepreneur money. MNC चला है बेटा दिन में सपने देखना छोड़ो what do you know about business who will invest in you I will invest in myself to learn everything about business and that's how business is raise funds the world will always question your choices make the right one to begin with
And directed 3 regional films and is awarded for his contribution to Jharkhand cinema for being the first digital film Hamar Jharkhand. He has also directed 10 short films for IIM Ranchi for its certificate program Barefoot Managers. Now I'll request Dr. Vijay to kindly take the podium. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. So we are here with youth icon session. So we are here for welcome to the welcome to the 10th conference, okay, of Jaipuria Institute of Management, Jaipur, and we are in youth icon session, and we have the guest Sudha Chandran. As you know, that Sudha Chandran is a famous Indian actress. She is also a national film awardee, and she is well-known Bharatanatyam dancer. Okay, so this you all know, but you don't know that Sudha Chandran is not just a name. Sudha Chandran is a way of life. Sudha Chandran is a living legend, and हमारा सौभाग्य है कि आज सुधा चंद्रन जी हमारे साथ हैं. And Sudha Chandran is an inspiration for millions of people across the globe. And she is a ray of hope for especially challenged people. So let us welcome Sudha Chandran. I would also request our director, sir, Professor Prabhat Pankaj, and Professor Lokesh Vijayvargiya to welcome Sudha Chandran ma'am with a green certificate. So let us start the session. Okay. In the beginning, we are going to watch a short film about Sudha Chandran for the next 5 minutes. So let us have the film.
When the king of India knows because of one thing we don't have, most of us will be sad or disheartened. But not Sudha Chandran. Her story inspires you to the peak. Sudha Chandran was born to Telugu parents in Mumbai. She was the only child of her parents. As she grew up, dancing and cultural arts attracted her. Seeing her enthusiasm for dancing, her father chose to enroll her for a dancing institute at an early age. She began dancing at the age of 3 and gave her first stage performance at the age of 8. Also, she learned dancing alongside her studies. And when she turned 16, she was already a rising star of the dancing world with 75 stage performances under her belt. Sudha was a splendid student in academics as well. Yet, dancing has always been her first love. Only 4 months before her 16th birthday celebration, she met with an accident while traveling in a bus in Tamil Nadu. The accident fractured her right leg along with a few cuts. Because of the sudden rush of critical patients at that time, a team of medical interns attended to her. They failed to see the cuts on her right lower leg. They simply wrapped her leg with PUP plaster. It led to gangrene, and the specialists were left with no choice but to cut off her right leg 7.5 inches below the knee to avoid the spread of infection. Sudha was devastated. The accident shattered her hopes of making a name in the dancing world. There was nothing she could do. Negative thoughts, depression, anger, frustration enveloped her. But she did not quit. Her passion for dance made her walk again with the help of an artificial limb called the Jaipur foot or Jaipur leg. It took her 4 months to walk straight with them. After learning to walk well with the artificial limb, she began practicing dance. It was difficult. She had to learn every step again. There were times when her leg would bleed, yet she continued. This is the actual beginning of the inspirational story of Sudha Chandran. Of course, Sudha was depressed as she felt that she was incapable of doing normal tasks. However, regular physiotherapy and practice gave her enough certainty to dance once more. Now, she was prepared to tell the entire world that an amputated leg cannot prevent her from living her dreams. She was scheduled to give a live stage performance in St. Xavier's School, Mumbai on January 28, 1984. All the main daily papers applauded her stage performance. Prior to the performance, she was a little nervous due to the large crowd awaiting her. A couple of big media and film dignitaries were among the group, including Ramoji Rao, the owner of Ramoji Rao Film City, Hyderabad. She realized that the group of onlookers was expecting the same words of her. The minute she landed on the stage, she just overlooked her leg and gave a stellar performance to get a standing ovation. Everybody, including her own father, was thrilled with the performance. That one performance changed her life. She received immense appreciation from India and the international media. She got invitations to perform in different nations over the globe. Ramoji Rao chose to influence a Telugu film on her life, and he offered her the lead part. This motion picture, Mayuri, 1985, was a box office success and won the Best Feature Film Award from the state government. Later, it was dubbed in Malayalam and Tamil language, and even remade in Hindi with the name Nacha Mayuri in 1986. Presently, Sudha is a well-established actress. She has acted in various movies of different languages like Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu, Gujarati, and Kannada. Her rundown of TV serials is long with a modest bunch of dancing reality shows as a judge. This inspirational story of Sudha Chandran is a stepping stone for those under similar circumstances. Regardless of her acting duties, Sudha's enthusiasm for dancing is still there. Presently, she runs dancing schools with the name Sudha Chandran Academy of Dance. It has several branches in Mumbai and Pune.
Her husband is the official director of the school and she teaches there every Sunday. A note to the listeners. The inspirational story of Sudha Chandran delivers an important message. A physical barrier cannot hamper our dreams and our way to success. It depends on how one overcomes this difficulty mentally. Once you do that, nothing can stop you from achieving your goal. Life will throw many unfortunate events at us, but we must make sure that we don't sink into negativity.
You are an inspiration, ma'am. So we have seen the story through the video, okay, regarding Sudha Chandranji. Okay, so let us hear from her. Okay, ma'am, you have inspired a lot of people. Okay, and you have been widely acclaimed Bharatanatyam dancer. So how did you get into dancing?
Well, interesting question because when I started dancing, I was hardly 3 years. So at the age of 3, no child can actually decide whether you want to become a dancer, a doctor, or an engineer. And like I was just discussing with the ladies, the beautiful ladies who were sitting with me, that many a time you take up a profession which actually is a dream of your parents. So for me, when I started dancing, I was just 3. And my mother wanted to become a dancer, but unfortunately, she could not become a dancer. So she had decided that if at all she gets married and she has a daughter, she will definitely make her a dancer. And my dad came in from Kerala. He came in search of work to Mumbai. He had a lot of responsibilities in life. And when he came to Mumbai, the first job that he got was as a typist. And he was a typist in the house of a very leading Bharatanatyam dancer called Sudha Doreswamy. And that's when he decided that if he gets married and he has a daughter, he will name her Sudha and he will make her a dancer. So I think when two soul individuals think alike, they say ना जब कायनात से आप कुछ मांगो तो वो आपको जरूर मिल जाता है. So that's how my parents met, and like they wanted, a daughter was born to them. Like my father decided, I was named Sudha, and like my mother wanted, I became a dancer. So that's how I became a dancer. So I'm just fulfilling the dreams of my parents by becoming a dancer.
I think you started your dancing at the age of 3,
Gee.
and you gave your first performance at the age of 8.
8,
So
yes.
around 8, you gave your first performance.
Yes.
And by 16, how many performances you did?
The first performance that I gave was at the age of 8, which is called the Arangetram.
Yes.
And unless you're not a celebrity, you don't get a stage to perform.
Yeah.
So I still remember my father wanted me to perform all over India, and he
Okay.
was working for the USIS, that's the
Yeah,
American
yeah,
Library. He was a
yeah,
deputy library director there. So they had a lot of offices all over India, especially Gujarat, and
Yes, yes,
up to Madhya Pradesh.
Yes.
So each time he went, he said, "My daughter wants to perform, so can I get a platform for my daughter?" And there were times when he's actually pledged his entire salary. Yes, just for me to get a stage to perform. So with all that money, that we come from a very, very middle class South Indian Brahmin family. So that salary which used to come home was very, very important for us.
Yes, yes.
But fortunately, being the only child, he had the privilege of putting in that money so that I could dance. And there were times when at the end of the month, we were left with minimal salary of his. But the only satisfaction that he and my mother got was that our daughter danced on a stage. So that's how my life began. So it's that sacrifice of our parents. And let me tell you, today where you all are, somewhere, remember, you all stand here, it's because of the sacrifices that your parents have made for you. Never ever forget that. This is for the younger generation, which I want to come across as a very clear and loud message. Never think ये सब हमने किया है. हमने कुछ नहीं किया है. हमने सिर्फ उस लेगेसी को आगे लेकर जा रहे हैं जो हमारे माता पिता ने हमारे लिए सोच कर रखा है. So never ever forget your parents, because if you want to be successful, remember your parents' blessings have to follow you. and precede you also. So ये मैं सारे बच्चों को आज मैं इस मंच पर कहना चाहती हूँ.
So you are following the dream of becoming a great dancer.
Ji.
Okay.
Ji.
And at the age of 16, okay, accident happened.
Yes.
And the whole life was changed kind of.
Oh, it went 360. It went topsy-turvy.
Yes.
Because मुझे याद है कि मैं I think जैसे आपने कहा कि almost 75 performances मैं दे चुकी
जी.
थी and मैं South जा रही थी
जी.
क्योंकि I belong to South मतलब my dad's lineage comes from Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
तो वहाँ हमारे कुलदेव हैं लॉर्ड कार्तिक जिनको हम मुर्गन बोलते हैं और नॉर्थ में लॉर्ड कार्तिक बोलते हैं उनको. तो हर साल हम वहाँ जाते थे तो वहाँ से हम आ रहे थे. तो that is when we met with a head-on collision, bus accident. तो जिसकी वजह से I was the least injured. मुझे कुछ नहीं हुआ था. मुझे सिर्फ एक मतलब एक राइट लेग पर एक छोटा सा एक फीमर का फ्रैक्चर था एंड अ स्मॉल कट ऑन माय राइट एंकल. बस इतना ही था. बट अदर्स वर मोर सीरियस बिकॉज मुझे याद है जब उस एक्सीडेंट के बाद मैं भी बहुत छोटी थी उस टाइम पे. तो वो ड्राइवर ही पास्ड अवे ऑन माय लैप. अब मैं 14 साल की लड़की और पहली बार मैंने एक मौत देखी थी अपनी आंखों से. और बेचारा वो पानी मांग रहा था. मुझे पता नहीं था कि मैं पानी कहाँ से लाऊं. देयर वाज अ स्मॉल रिवरलेट. तो एक मतलब मैंने उनका वो एक बनियन था तो उधर से मैंने पानी ली. आई डिप द बनियन इन द वाटर एंड आई गिव हिम. और शायद वो कहीं ना कहीं वो ब्लेसिंग्स है जिसकी वजह से आज मैं यहाँ पर हूँ. कहते हैं जब इंसान दुनिया से जाता है और अगर आप वो लास्ट वो पानी पिला दे तो कहीं ना कहीं वो ब्लेसिंग्स आपके साथ है. तो आज आई स्टिल रिमेंबर हिम. ही मे नॉट रिमेंबर मी बट आई रिमेंबर हिम. एंड आई रिमेंबर my father was bleeding through his nose. My mother was declared dead. मतलब और 4 लड़के थे दिल्ली से. कहते हैं ना मसिया बन के आए थे. वो 4 लड़के उस बस में थे. उसमें से एक एथलीट था. तो he ran 40 kilometers and got an ambulance. Yes, from Tiruchi, which is Tiruchirappalli today. और हर मंच पे मैं यही बोलती हूँ कि भाई आप जहां पर भी हो प्लीज आप मेरे सामने आइए क्योंकि मैं उनसे नहीं मिली उसके बाद. उन्होंने वो एम्बुलेंस बुलाने के बाद वो लोग वहां से निकल गए. कहाँ चले गए? क्या वो सच में वो 4 लड़के थे या फिर इंसान के रूप में वो भगवान?
हाँ, ऐसा तो हम लोग कई बार देखते भी हैं. कई बार एक्सीडेंट्स होते हैं तो कई बार लोग हेल्प करते हैं, कई बार लोग हेल्प नहीं करते हैं.
बिल्कुल. और इन 4 और एक औरत थी there was this बस का एक जो रॉड था वो उसके यूट्रस में चला गया था. एंड शी वाज टेलिंग मी कि प्लीज पुल इट आउट. अब मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं उसको कैसे खींचूं. बट कहते ना उस वक्त you become strong. You just become strong. So I helped her to pull that rod out of her uterus. And 15 साल बाद जब मैं यूएस में परफॉर्म कर रही थी तो ये एक औरत मेरे पास आई एंड शी सेड थैंक यू सुधा, आई एम अलाइव बिकॉज ऑफ यू. मैंने कहा मैंने क्या किया? बोलते मैं ही वो औरत हूँ जिसकी मदद तुमने की थी. Life is one big circle. Yes. And my mother was declared dead coming back to the accident. And the doctor said कि आप death certificate sign कर लो. जो पुलिस वाले आए थे वहाँ पे. And suddenly I realized that she was breathing. मैंने कहा hello, she is alive. तो एक एम्बुलेंस में हम तीनों को शिफ्ट किया गया था. और 4 साल बाद जैसे हम मनमोहन देसाई की फिल्मों में देखते हैं कि 4 साल बाद माता पिता और बच्चे उनका एक रीयूनियन हुआ. 4 दिन बाद मेरा हुआ. I didn't till then I didn't know whether my parents were alive or dead. So my mother was in the female ward, my dad was in the male ward, I was in the children's ward. So 4 दिन बाद my mother recovered, my father recovered, and suddenly they realized कि a fracture had happened, so they put a plaster of Paris. But उन्होंने wound clean नहीं किया था. It was a government hospital. अब 4 दिन के बाद 5वां 6वां दिन suddenly I realized कि my जो बिग टो है वो मूव नहीं कर रहा था. इट वाज गेटिंग ब्लैक. तो मैंने अपनी माँ से कहा आई सेड देयर इज सम प्रॉब्लम, मुझे लग रहा है. एंड दैट इज व्हेन माय डैड टुक अ डिसीजन कि इनफ इज इनफ. अब गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल नहीं बिकॉज एक्सीडेंट केस था तो हम लोग निकल नहीं पाए. देन आई वाज शिफ्टेड टू चेन्नई. वहां जाने के बाद पता चला कि गैंग्रीन हैड ऑलरेडी सेटल्ड और इट वाज अ मैटर ऑफ लाइफ और डेथ. 24 घंटे थे मेरे पास एंड आई वाज अ माइनर. तो जाहिर सी बात है कि मैं उस वक्त डिसाइड नहीं कर सकती थी. वाज अ मेजर आई कुड हैव स्टॉप्ड बट fate played dirty with me. क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ 15 साल की थी तो माय फादर गेव अ डिक्लेरेशन कि ठीक है आप एम्पुटेट कर लीजिए, मुझे मेरी बेटी चाहिए. सो दैट वाज the decision taken by my father, and that was the time I realized कि अब तो मैं जिंदगी में कभी डांस नहीं कर पाऊंगी।
Yes, yes.
और खास तौर से मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि जब आप किसी चीज को खोने के कगार पे हो, उस वक्त आपको पता चलता है व्हाट इज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दैट। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन लाइफ। सडन थिंग्स, सडन रिलेशनशिप्स हम फॉर ग्रांटेड ले लेते हैं, लेकिन जब वो आपसे छूट जाते हैं तब आपको पता चलता है कि ये क्या हो गया मेरे साथ। एंड दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंड।
इस एक्सीडेंट ने तो आपकी दुनिया बदल दी, और मुझे लगता है कि इससे ज्यादा आपके माता पिताजी की भी दुनिया काफी बदल गई होगी।
या बीइंग द ओनली चाइल्ड, मैं तो बोलती हूँ हर माँ बाप यही सोचते हैं कि उनके जो सपने, अधूरे सपने हैं, वो उनके बच्चे साकार करें। तो लाइक आई सेड, माय पेरेंट्स वांटेड मी टू बिकम अ डांसर। तो सडनली अब हम कहते हैं कि हम बहुत ही प्रोग्रेसिव सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दिस इज द रियलिटी ऑफ लाइफ। मैं आज से 35 ऑलमोस्ट 35 इयर्स बैक आई एम टॉकिंग, लोग मेरे पास आते थे, हमारे घर में आते थे सहानुभूति दिखाने के लिए, सिंपैथी जताने के लिए, और कहते थे कि अरे यार तुम मिस्टर चंद्रन, इट्स सो सैड कि आप अपनी बेटी को डांसर बनाना चाहते थे, बट ठीक है, आपकी बेटी बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, तो आप उसको IAS ऑफिसर बना दीजिए, IFS बना दीजिए, काफी अपॉर्चुनिटीज है। और मैं कहती हूँ कि हिंदुस्तान में एक चीज है जो मुफ्त में हमें मिलती है, और वो है फ्री एडवाइस। आप दरवाजा बंद करके बोलिए कि प्लीज आप मत आइए, तब भी घंटी बजाएंगे, अपने घर की चीजें वो नहीं देखेंगे, बाजू वाले के घरों में क्या चल रहा है वो आके आपको फ्री एडवाइस देंगे। और एंड में आपको ये बोलना पड़ता है कि आंटी जी प्लीज आप अपने घर पे जाइए, पहले उस चीज को सेटल कीजिए, हम अपनी जिंदगी देख लेंगे। एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई डिड। एक पॉइंट के बाद मैं इतनी एरोगेंट हो गई थी, बिकॉज मुझे रोज अगर मैं ऐसे ही लोगों से मिलती जाऊंगी, मिलती रहूंगी, तो जो मैं करना चाहती थी वो मैं कभी नहीं कर पाती। सो एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू हैव टू पुट योर फुट डाउन एंड से, इसको मैं कहती हूँ डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म। आपको कहीं ना कहीं यू हैव टू से कि बॉस इनफ, जब मैं आपके पास आऊंगी तब आप अपने आइडिया शेयर कीजिए। अब मेरे ब्रेन में बहुत सारे आइडियाज हैं, जब मेरा ब्रेन फंक्शन करना बंद करेगा तब मैं आप लोगों के पास आऊंगी।
और आजकल तो ऐसा हो गया कि आजकल तो फ्री आइडिया देने के लिए घर जाने की भी जरूरत नहीं है।
हाँ।
आपके पास मोबाइल फोन है, आप 50 कॉल कर सकते हैं रोज ही और लोगों को फ्री एडवाइस दे सकते हैं।
थैंक गॉड उस वक्त पे वो नहीं था। थैंक गॉड।
So how did you get your another life? How was you reborn kind of thing?
I was reborn in Jaipur.
Okay.
This is my rebirth. This is my city of rebirth. मैं हमेशा यही कहती हूँ कि एक जन्म मुझे तब मिला जब I was born to my parents, and my second life came when I came to Jaipur. Because accident के बाद I was lying on the hospital bed, and that is the time when a doctor walked up to me and said, "Sudha, don't cry. See, something new has come up." So I said, "What is new?" He said, "See, they say God has sent a Messiah for you." I said,
Yes,
"What?"
yes.
And India Today carried a beautiful article on the Jaipur Fort.
Yes, yes.
And Dr.
Yes.
P.K. Sethi winning the Raman Magsaysay Award in the same year.
Yes, yes.
So I looked at the foot and I said, "हाँ, natural तो दिखता है." So he said, "Don't think, move."
Yes, yes.
I said, "What? How do I move?" He said, "Go to Jaipur, meet the doctor."
Yes.
I said, "But he must be very busy. He's just got an award. It's an international award. He would not even be there in Jaipur." और मेरे लिए जयपुर आना एक ख्वाब था. Because see, I come from a very middle class family. For me to travel down to Jaipur, meet the doctor, it was, I thought कि अभी काफी महीने लगेंगे इसके लिए. But I wrote a letter to Dr. P.K. Sethi and I said, "I want to meet you, doctor."
Okay.
And there was an instant reply which said, "Please come next week." And I remember me and my mother and my uncle, we just packed our bags and landed here in Jaipur. हमको पता ही नहीं था जाना कहाँ है. Then we went to the SMS hospital. I met Dr. P.K. Sethi और मैंने उनसे कहा कि I want to dance again. तो मुझे लगा कि डॉक्टर बोलेंगे कि पागल हो गया, पहले चलना तो शुरू करो, डांस तो दूर की बात है. बट व्हेन आई स्पोक टू हिम ही सेड, हाँ क्यों नहीं, तुम तो डांस कर पाओगी. आई सेड, डॉक्टर ये इतना सिंपल नहीं है, इट्स भरतनाट्यम, इट रिक्वायर्स अ लॉट ऑफ फुटवर्क. And you won't believe, Dr. P.K. Sethi actually performed one step in front of me because his daughter-in-law is a classical dancer.
Great, great.
तो वही कहते हैं ना, जैसे ये प्रोफेसर है और फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से जुड़े हुए हैं, हमारे डॉक्टर पीके सेठी साहब भी प्रोफेशनली मेडिकल में थे, बट उन्हें आर्ट एंड कल्चर के बारे में बहुत नॉलेज था. सो ही सेड, डोंट वरी, यू विल डांस अगेन. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज द कॉन्फिडेंस दैट आई गॉट. क्योंकि अगर उस वक्त वो एक पल के लिए भी सोचते ना कि लेट अस थिंक अबाउट इट, शायद मैं कभी डांस नहीं कर पाती. So I think he was God sent for me. And that positive attitude motivated me. I said, if Dr. Sethi says I can dance, boss, I definitely dance.
So that was the transformation which came through Jaipur food. Okay, and Jaipur food you already know is known from the names of Ramchandra Sarmaji and P.K. Sethi. Okay, and man, you will be happy to know that one of our students, Raj Sarma, is the grandson of Ramchandra Sarmaji, and who is here.
नमस्कार 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 उनके साथ मैंने काफी वक्त बिताया है. I still remember him coming in a motorcycle of his, और जिसके एक साइड पे सब्जियां होती थी और एक साइड में बैठ के वो पता नहीं कुछ घिसते रहते थे. तो मैं पूछती थी कि आप क्या घिस रहे हो. दिन भर मैं सवेरे से रात तक वही पड़ी रहती थी. वो कहते मैंने इतने सालों से घिसा इसलिए तुम्हें ये जयपुर फूड मिला. Thanks to that family. I'm always in gratitude. Thank you.
So how did you come into films? Yeah,
that's
so that is also a great story.
Yes. Because when I started dancing, well, yeah, this has been a very morose story. So let's come to more. Let's get into more fun. So when I started dancing, and people said, "Wow, you're dancing with an artificial limb, बहुत अच्छी बात है," and had a beautiful press coverage because my father came from the American library, like I told you. So he had a lot of connection with the press. So when I danced on the stage, a lot of articles were written about me, and that loses a foot, walks a mile back. This is history, and nobody has danced with an artificial limb. But today we are talking about a lot of autobiographical films.
Yes.
But sad part is, कहीं पर भी नाचे मेरी का mention नहीं हो रहा है.
I think that is the first
That is the first autobiographical film where the same person has enacted her role.
That is incredible.
Nobody has done.
Yes.
So जब मैं dance करने लगी, it caught the attention of Mr. Ramoji Rao. So he is always a person who's very innovative and very dynamic. So he called up my father and he said, I want you and your daughter to come down to Hyderabad. So I went there, I met him, I spoke to him. He said, I want to make a film on your life story. I want to inspire the coming generations.
Yes.
So, and he said, Mr. Chandran, don't think I'm exploiting your daughter. So my dad said, no, not at all. If it's going to be a film that's going to inspire many generations to come, you must make a film.
Yes.
Initially, they didn't want me to be the heroine of the film. They wanted to take a very leading actress there.
Okay.
So they just wanted to use my story. But when the director saw me, he saw my how and all. He says, "Yeah, sahi hai, isi ko hum banayenge heroine." And I was like, "Heroine? Where? How?" And then we came back to Mumbai. And then, as usual, typical Orthodox families, Brahmin families, exactly. A conference बैठा, grandmother sitting, my father, my mother, me. मतलब 3 दिन तक ये conference चलता रहा. करना है नहीं करना है. Good versus bad. Finally, my grandmother, like if your people have seen Nache Mayuri, if you see that grandmother, she was a very progressive grandmother.
Yeah.
So she put her foot down and she told my mother, she said, I take a decision that Sudha will do this film. And that's how I did Mayuri. And rest is history. Of course, Mayuri became a super hit.
Yes.
Where Nachi Mayuri in Hindi, that became a super hit.
And you also got a national award for Mayuri.
Yes, I was very fortunate to get the national award. But uske baad, when you do one super hit movie,
yes.
Uske baad 6 saal mere paas kaam nahi tha.
I think people called that you are just a one film wonder.
Yeah, I said no. The people को मतलब वो करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. हाँ, but ये तो आपकी खुद की फिल्म थी, फिल्म हिट हो गई है. But इसके बाद क्या? And unfortunately, जितनी फिल्में मैंने की सब फ्लॉप हुए. So people, what they said probably was right.
And film industry acts like that only. That once the hits
I wouldn't say my film industry. I still stand by my film industry. I love my film industry. So probably होता है कि you need something to change. Yes. That revolution has to come. तो 6 साल मैं भी इंतजार करती रही. And people said like, अरे do, you're so intelligent. You're MA with politics. You're doing international and industrial politics. Do something in education. So मैंने कहा, I only prayed to God. I said, you have given me one film. Don't make me a one film wonder.
Yes.
And that is when television had begun. Us waqt, it was Junoon and Sahil, which was happening. So I went to meet the producer of Junoon, Mr. Sunil Mehta. तो मैं उनसे मिली और मैंने कहा कि I want to get into acting. So he said, हाँ ठीक है, 15 दिन में you'll get a call from Cinevista. And I thought it was one of those filmy promises. But on the 10th day, I got a call from Cinevista and I did Junoon. And that was my entry into television. So it was Junoon, it was Sahil, it was Commando because I was a great fan of Ramesh Bhatkar. So I wanted to do Commando. You know, I loved Commando.
Yeah.
So many one-offs kiye unke saath, and then television just happened.
And then you became also famous with Ramola Sikand. What was the character? Kahin Kisi Roj.
Yeah, the woman folk, thank you so much. It's all because of the woman here that I became famous with Kahi Kisi Rose. And woman ने तो देखा ही है, और 11 बजे के slot में आता था, तो जाहिर सी बात है, अपने husbands को तो बिठा ही लेते थे side में. So thanks, because of the woman folk, the men started watching our serials, and I became a household name. And Ramola Sikand was one character. I still remember when I went to meet Ekta, and when I heard the story, so I didn't know कि कौन से रोल की बात कर रही थी वो, because I just come out of Mayuri, नाची Mayuri, घर वाली, मतलब I look like one of those girls next door girl image.
Yes.
तो मैं गई, मैं सुनती रही, 1 घंटे तक वो बोलती रही. तो मैंने कहा, excuse me, are you offering me the role of Shaina? So she said, oh, a style icon and me? कहाँ से मैं लगूंगी style icon? And she said, I trust you, and you trust me. 6 महीने के बाद लोग सिर्फ आपके बारे में बात करेंगे. And yes, people only talked about Ramola Sikand, and people are still talking about Ramola Sikand. Yes. So all those bindis and the garish makeup. In fact, अगर आज लोग इतना मेकअप कर रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं फाउंडेशन मैंने ही लगाया है. हाँ. और घरों को तोड़ने की बात हो, वो भी मैं ही हूँ. किसी भी बहू को मैंने चैन से जीने नहीं दिया ना. और जितनी भी सासें हैं, वो मुझसे बहुत प्यार करती थी, क्योंकि हर रोज उनको एक नया नुस्खा मिलता था अपनी बहुओं को सताने के. So I think, well, that was my bread and butter, but I think Ramola Sikand was one character that people loved to do.
How did you start playing negative characters? I think there was some playing from Gopi Kishan ji.
Gopi ji, जब मैं Gopi Kishan ji fortunately directed a lot of my films. जितने भी फिल्मों में मैंने गाने किए थे, उन्होंने डायरेक्ट किया. तो मुझे हमेशा, जब भी मुझे देखते थे, मुझे बोलते थे, ए डायन इधर आ. मैं बोलती थी, मैं कहाँ से डायन लग रही हूँ? तो मुझे पता नहीं है, तेरी आंखें ना डायन जैसी है. तब जब गोपी जी ऐसे बोलते थे, तो मैं कुछ बोल भी नहीं सकती थी. मैंने कहा, हाँ, शायद मैं डायन ही हूँ. And when I did Kahi Kisi Rose, unfortunately, Gopi ji was not there. So I think वो जो एक negative element, we all have that negativity in us. We all have. We have a negative side to us. We have a positive side to us. But the culture and upbringing की वजह से that negative aspect shuts down into your life and the positive aspect comes out. तो शायद जब मैं कहीं किसी रोज कर रही थी, जिन चीजों को मैंने दबोच के रखा था, वो सब कूट के बाहर आ गए. And that's how I became a brilliant actress. But कहीं किसी को.
Now you are an epitome of boldness and courage. लेकिन आपकी फ्रेंड उमा जी ने एक बार बोला कि सुधा जी बहुत डरपोक थी बचपन में. क्या ये सही है मैम?
Actually, शादी तक मैं डरपोक ही थी. मैं डरपोक ही थी. लोगों को लगता है कि मैं बहुत बोल्ड हूँ. हालांकि मैं बोल्ड नहीं हूँ. पहले जब मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ जाती भी थी, तो 4 लड़के मुझे दिख जाते थे कोने पे, तो मैं अपने वापस घर आ जाती थी, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि वो कुछ बोलेंगे, फिर मैं रोने लगूंगी. तो मैं उस चीज को अवॉइड करना चाहती थी. बट थोड़ी बहुत मैं स्ट्रांग हुई एक्सीडेंट के बाद, बट बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गई शादी के बाद. बिकॉज शादी के बाद जब आई कम फ्रॉम अ वेरी डिफरेंट फैमिली बैकग्राउंड. हमारे यहाँ बोलने का, बैठने का तरीका बहुत अलग होता है. आई कम फ्रॉम अ टिपिकल साउथ इंडियन फैमिली, जहाँ पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ एजुकेशन को इम्पोर्टेंस दिया जाता है और कुछ नहीं. Because my mother always believed that education is a blank check for a middle class family, जिसे आप कभी भी जिंदगी में एनकैश कर सकते हैं. So ये like my mother was very particular. Don't talk in a higher tone. The way you sit, the way you conduct yourself. But contrast, I got married to a Punjabi family. And my husband, each time I say this, he does, क्यों बोलती. So पंजाबी फैमिली में शादी होने के बाद आई एम सो हैप्पी. आई कुड डिस्कवर सो मेनी थिंग्स इन माई लाइफ. जब मैं शादी करके, जब मैं सीरियल में काम करती थी, तो रोज घर पे आके अपनी दुख भरी कहानी अपने पति को सुनाती थी. अरे आज रवि ऐसा हुआ, उसने ऐसा बोला, उसने ऐसा किया, उसने ऐसा मजाक उड़ाया. तो 2-3 दिन बेचारा वो भी सुनता रहा. अब क्या करे, शादी हो गई है. चौथे दिन वो बड़ा इरिटेटेड हो गया. होता क्या मुंह में क्या ताला मार के बैठी हो क्या यार, जा ना तू भी 4 गालियां दे के आ, शायद तू सरवाइव कर जाए। तो 4 गालियां भी मैंने अपने पति से ही सीखा और अब वो मेरी जिंदगी का एक अहम हिस्सा बन चुका है। अब मैं प्यार से भी बोलती हूँ तो पहले गाली देती हूँ, फिर मैं प्यार से बात करती हूँ। थैंक यू रवि, आई लव यू फॉर दैट।
आपके जीवन में गुरु का काफी महत्व रहा है, तो उसके बारे में कुछ बात करना चाहेंगे आप?
यस, हमेशा कहते हैं कि सी टुडे वी आर सिटिंग इन एन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टीचिंग। हमारी गुरुओं की महत्वता, जो इम्पोर्टेंस है हमारी लाइफ में, वो बहुत ही, वी डोंट रियलाइज इट व्हेन वी आर स्टडिंग, वी रियलाइज इट व्हेन वी लीव स्कूल एंड कॉलेज। कहीं ना कहीं जितना, you know, when I was in school, I come from a convent school where people were very strict. The teachers were very strict with us. हर बार उस वक्त लगता था अरे यार बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट है यार, क्या जिंदगी में करेंगे, जब देखो keep quiet, don't open your mouth, see that your uniform is not squeezed, so and say a prayer before you start your lunch, your dinner. तो ऐसा लगता था कितना ये करेंगे, but when you get out is when you realize how important that training was. और मेरे लिए खास तौर से मेरे डांसिंग गुरु जो है, मुझे याद है I was a kid for him. And when I danced on stage, मुझे बाद में पता चला कि when I had decided to come back on stage, he had taken a vow before Lord Nataraja. He had not eaten food and he had not taken a sip of water. He said, till my daughter doesn't come back on stage, that is the day I will break the fast. And 7 days at that age, he stayed without water and food to get that blessings. So for me, my Guru Ramaswamy Bhagavatar is and I'm very fortunate. I had the best of people in my life.
So you have got a lot of achievement in the life also, henceforth in television as well as film industry. Is there any regret?
No regret. Regret for what? I have no regrets in life. Because see, when you have regrets in life, you can never move forward.
Yeah.
See, आप जिंदगी भर ये सोचते रहोगे कि see, initially the first 2 years I kept asking myself, क्यों, why ये मेरे साथ क्यों हुआ? अब जिस क्यों का जवाब ही नहीं मिलना है, तो हम अपनी जिंदगी उसमें क्यों वेस्ट करें? Let's say why not?
Yes.
It should never be why. Let's go to the question of why not. See, I always consider myself as a ship which was not made to be anchored at the bay.
Yeah.
I am a ship that has to go into the sea. It has to have calm sea. It has to have rough sea. Calm sea में तो आप आराम से सेल कर जाओगे, but जब rough tide आएगा, तब is the testing time for you कि आप उसे पार कर पाओगे या नहीं कर पाओगे. That is the realization of your inner strength. That is when I always tell people, don't get deterred by failures, because that is going to be the turning point of your life, and that is when God tests you.
Yeah.
It's a test by God.
So would you like to give some message to our students, all the student communities there, as well the faculty fraternities there?
All I can see that the students are feeling very hot.
Yeah.
And most of them are like, oof, kya garmi hai yaar. But to the kids, you are a very, very focused generation. But 2 things I would definitely love to tell you. A, listen to your parents. They have seen more summers than you have seen. So many a time today's generation feels कि हमारे माता पिता क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं यार, जवानी हम पर से भी गुजरी हुई है. So we have seen that life. So we are only sharing our experiences with you. And even today when I'm talking, out of this 40 minutes that I'm talking, even if you can carry back 2 important messages back home and implement it in your life, it's going to make a very big change. Stay focused, and don't become a victim of stress. Please don't become a victim of stress. क्योंकि आजकल जब भी मैं बच्चों से मिलती हूँ, उनका यही कहना है कि मैम, we are so stressed. We were all stressed. If we had taken a decision of ending our lives, who would be here to take your generation forward? And remember, being a victim of stress and taking that last ultimate step, which all of us have to avoid. Before doing that, remember one thing. There are people waiting for you at home who have loved you and who are living only and only for you. So never ever take a decision in haste. And your prime focus or the prime thought is you have to achieve that what your parents have dreamt for you. And you all are so lucky, because when I was coming, I was just listening that you have already got a job. When you all go out with a fantastic pay scale, what more do you want, kids? We used to go hunting for jobs. This generation is so lucky. You've got the best of education, you've got the best of placements, you've got the best of revenues. So make use of it and become an example for the generations to follow. Let people look up to you, and you become an example, because once we leave this world, this legacy has to be taken up by the next generation. And remember, you're born with a purpose. When you leave this world, just don't be an ordinary human being. हम पैदा हुए, हमने पढ़ाई की, शादी की, बच्चे पैदा किए और हम यहाँ से निकल गए. ये तो हर कोई करता है. Do something that's very special and that's going to be remembered for generations to come.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for talking to me. Now the forum is open for questions and answers. Okay, so you may ask questions to Sudha ma'am. Sudha ma'am will answer the question. Yeah, questions. Please pass on the mics.
मेरा नाम अविनाश जोशी है, ब्राह्मण परिवार से हूँ, पारंपरिक
जी।
जिंदगी में अध्यात्म का क्या महत्व है? कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि जब जिंदगी ठहर सी जाती है, आप जैसे जो एक्सीडेंट के बाद जब जिंदगी कई लोग जीते हैं तो ठहर सी जाती है, एक वैक्यूम सा आता है। अध्यात्म का सहारा आपने अपनी जिंदगी में लिया क्या?
मैं आज तक ले रही हूँ।
उसके बारे में हमें थोड़ा बताइए।
मैं बिल्कुल यही कहूंगी कि एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इंसिडेंट के बारे में मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगी इस पॉइंट पे। जब मैं पहली बार जयपुर फुट के साथ जब मैं स्टेज पर आई, तो उस वक्त स्टेज पर जाने से पहले मैंने एक ही बात कही थी अपनी माँ से, क्योंकि मेरी ग्रैंडमदर हमेशा यही बोलती थी कि जिस भगवान को हम पूजते हैं वो कभी आपका हाथ नहीं छोड़ेगा। तो मैंने कहा ये सब तो मैं हर रोज सुन रही हूँ, अगर सच में वो है तो आज के दिन उनको यहाँ होना चाहिए। वो किस रूप में आएंगे मुझे नहीं पता, और मैंने अपनी माँ से यही कहा कि आज वो जरूर आएंगे। और मैं स्टेज पर गई और इस बात को मैं भूल गई थी। स्टेज पे परफॉर्म करने के बाद जब मैं घर आई, तब मेरे फादर ने मुझसे कहा कि जब तुम परफॉर्म कर रही थी तो एक ब्राह्मण रूप में, पता नहीं वो कहाँ से आए, उन्होंने विभूति दी और उन्होंने कहा कि घर जाने के बाद अपनी बेटी को ये जरूर लगाना। और उसके बाद मेरे पिता ढूंढते रहे पर वो कभी नहीं मिले। यही एक चीज है। और हर बार जब जब मैं टूटती हूँ, और मैं इंसानों के सामने कभी नहीं रोती, जो भी मुझे बात करनी है मैं उसी भगवान से बात करती हूँ कि वो सब कुछ देखता है। मैं वही कह रही हूँ कि जितना हम कर रहे हैं वो तो हम 50% कर रहे हैं, बट कहीं ना कहीं आज वो एक ऊपर वाला है जिसके सहारे हम चलते हैं। तो मेरे लिए वो एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है। और आज भी मैं सभी बच्चों से यही कहूंगी कि प्लीज, जो ब्राह्मण परिवार से हो, नॉन ब्राह्मण परिवार से हैं, इंडिया इज वेरी रिच इन इट्स आर्ट, कल्चर एंड रिलीजन। आप उसका सहारा कभी ना छोड़ें, उस पर आप जरूर ध्यान दें।
एक मेरा और क्वेश्चन है, भारतीय वर्ण व्यवस्था जो रही है हमारी, और जिस संस्कृति से हम जीते आए हैं, आज के जो कॉलेजेस हैं, जो जिंदगी हम जी रहे हैं, आज की जो व्यवस्था है, जो फैकल्टीज काम कर रही है, उसमें कई बार ऐसे लगता है जो जनरेशन है वो कला, संस्कृति, साहित्य और संगीत, इस पे बहुत कुछ नहीं ज्यादा फोकस्ड रह पा रही है, क्योंकि जो भौतिक साधन है, जो जिंदगी जीने का जो जरिया है, वो कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि वो भौतिक साधन शायद कला, साहित्य, संस्कृति और संगीत नहीं दे पा रहे। तो आप जैसी जो यूथ आइकन है और आप जैसे लोगों से हम लोग ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि आने वाली जो नस्लें हैं वो इन सभी चीजों पे, क्योंकि हमारा जो बेसिक है, जो हमारी जो फंडामेंटल है, वो यही चीजें हैं जो हमें आगे ले जाएगी। आपने एक बात कही थी कि जिंदगी जो आसानी से जी जा सकती है, आदमी पैदा होता है, शादी करता है, बच्चे पैदा करता है, चला जाता है, लेकिन इन 4 चीजों के बारे में जो कि हमारी फंडामेंटल रिक्वायरमेंट है, इसके बारे में इन यूथ को अगर आप कुछ कहेंगे तो बड़ा अच्छा लगेगा।
सर, यहाँ पर मैं ये भी कहना चाहूंगी कि माता पिता का योगदान भी बहुत है इसमें। आई समहाउ फील कि आजकल पेरेंट्स भी अपनी जिंदगी में इतने बिजी हैं कि वो इन चीजों को, इस परंपरा को हम अपने बच्चों तक नहीं पहुंचा पा रहे हैं। तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। जैसे हम इंग्लिश स्कूल में पढ़े हैं, कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में पढ़े हैं, लेकिन घर आते थे तो मातृभाषा ही बोलते थे। ये एक कंपल्सरी था हमारे घर में, ताकि हम अपने रूट्स को, या जैसे आपने कहा कि जिस जहां से हम आए हैं उसे हम ना भूलें। तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। बच्चे भी आजकल मैं देख रही हूँ कि उनका जो रुझान है वो है, आज भी है, पर थोड़ा सा उनको वो डायरेक्शन देने का काम, आई थिंक इट कम्स फ्रॉम द फैमिली। द फैमिली हैज टू डू इट।
थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम।
Ma'am, firstly, I just want to say I'm amazed by your grace. Thank you, right? And I also understood that you have a great sense of humor. So my question to you is, how important is humor when you're overcoming obstacles?
See, humor is very important. If you can laugh at yourself, you have won the battle. लोग आप पे हंसे, आपको बुरा लगता है। जब आप अपने आप पर हंसने की क्षमता रखते हैं, वो शक्ति आप डेवलप करें, कोई भी चीज आपको बुरा नहीं लगता। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड टेक क्रिटिसिज्म विद अ पिंच ऑफ सॉल्ट। ज्यादा सीरियस मत हो जाइए। एंड आई एम सो हैप्पी टू नो कि यहाँ पर तो हैप्पीनेस का एक क्लास भी चल रहा है, जहाँ पर ये सिखाया जाता है कि आप हमेशा खुश रहो। लोग मुझसे यही पूछते हैं कि आप हमेशा खुश क्यों रहते हो। मैंने कहा वही करके करना क्या है, जो है वो ऊपर वाले ने लिखा है, देखा जाएगा। जब वो दिन नहीं रहे तो ये दिन भी नहीं रहेंगे, है ना।
Namaskar, madam.
Namaskar.
Myself, Shashi Ranjan Kumar.
जी sir.
I came here from Indian Overseas Bank, Machwa branch. Dr. Prabhat Pankaj is my neighbor and my best friend. Not this is the age gap. This is the concept of mind matching.
जी.
Just the thinking matching.
जी.
I just very emotional to listen to you because one small story I have. In my 10th standard in Bihar, I came from Bihar, Patna. I teach some of the students in which all passed, I failed with 1 marks in math subject. Whole year I faced negativity in our society. हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, टीचर पास कर फेल कर गया, स्टूडेंट पास कर गया. So it was, I faced 1 year. I have to face this type of question answer 1 year. And I challenged to myself.
Yes.
In whole life, I will never fail, and throughout till date, I am passed with distinction.
और आप बैंकिंग में हो?
Yes.
और आप बैंकिंग में हो?
Yeah.
सोचिए.
I have faced 2 times interview UPSC and 3 times mains.
Wow. तालियां, तालियां उनके लिए.
More than 80% my batchmen today IS, IPS officers working in as post of secretary like that. I have also worked in our CGO complex branch. My Indian Overseas Bank have one of branch CGO complex, New Delhi, where the CBI and the RAW headquarters. I have worked 2.5 years for as a deputation for CBI and RAW. I really inspired for your words because there is something more. You said लोगों की मत सुनो. Our किशोरदा said कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना.
बिल्कुल.
So that mindset I have, and I dedicated every word to that song. So I request to all of our youth, some of my youngers, some of elders, and all the parents available and our guests, please do not listen others. Listen to your mind and your heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even somehow you tell that you listen to your parents. I particularly statement, my personal statement. Sometimes I also object my parents because not directly, but I have to give examples. You are asking for that, but I have best solution for that. So our parents is first, but somehow if any suggestion I have, we can convince, we can request. So please youth, do something for India. Thank you.
एक राज की बात बताऊं, My first paycheck has gone to Indian Overseas Bank and I bank with IOB. जी बोलिए.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, hi.
I'm Harshita Kalla from this college.
Yes.
So, ma'am, I wanted to know from you that as you have switched your career from dancing to acting, that was by luck.
I have not switched. It's going parallel.
That happened, unfortunately. So you thought of continuing that career in the acting field parallelly. So was the only reason for continuing in this that was that what people are saying that you didn't won in other movies, or is there any other motivation that?
तो I never wanted to do movies.
Yeah.
तो था ही नहीं.
Yeah.
जब मैंने एक फिल्म की और जब लोगों ने कहा कि आप वन फिल्म वंडर हो, तो I wanted to disprove that fact. I wanted to disprove, and I'm still dancing and acting. And today acting is a very respectable career. पहले जब हम ये कहते थे कि मैं डांसर हूँ तो लोग पूछते थे, what do you do other than dancing? Today dancing is a very good profession. People are earning out of it. So ऐसा कोई भी profession नहीं है which has to be looked down.
I know, ma'am. I am also Bharatanatyam.
No, you know it. So then, are you still dancing?
Yeah.
You must continue. Never give up on dancing.
I know. That's why I'm asking that why you thought of continuing in career and in acting and not only in dance.
हाँ तो मैं वही बोली ना, कुछ आधा घंटा मोबाइल तो कम देखो और डांस करो. जो हम 24 घंटे आजकल मैं देख रही हूँ सबकी मुंडियाँ ऐसी रहती है, तो वो जो आधा पौना घंटा हम साइड में रखते हैं, नहीं देखेंगे इंस्टाग्राम, नहीं देखेंगे फेसबुक, नहीं देखेंगे ट्विटर. वो जो एक्स्ट्रा टाइम जो फालतूगिरी में करते हैं, इफ यू पुट इट इनटू योर पोटेंशियलिटीज, probably this would be your bread and butter आगे चल के भी. You never know. It's also an art that you should not lose, and it's also a stress buster. Let me tell you, dance is a stress buster. जितने भी आप टेंशन्स लेके घर जाओगे, पढ़ाई, वर्क रिलेटेड, go start dancing, you will see the difference.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Akshita.
Hi, Akshita. Yeah.
First of all, I'm very glad to witness you here because even I have done Bharatanatyam for 6 years, and I'm really practicing and learning it and continuing it.
Very good.
And during that 6 years, I really felt demotivated in the third year that it's so boring and it's not getting like I thought that it's getting boring.
I don't know you.
It started getting boring, but you were right. My mother literally motivated me, and today I really feel that I am so glad that I didn't left it in the middle. And today, whatever confidence I have, whatever I'm speaking here, and actually it is a stress
buster.
yeah. So whatever today I am, it is half of the thing because of dance.
Very
so
good.
I really praise it that whatever I am, I'm never gonna leave it. So and I'm very happy to see her because whenever I used to give exam of Bharatanatyam, so we used to the teacher used to ask us like tell us few ideas of Bharatanatyam. So I don't know, but I used to remember your name. Like so,
Thank
I'm
you so
very
much. Thank
happy.
you so much. That really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon.
I'm Dr. Ranjeet Kaur.
Yes.
I just want to ask one question that your parents have decided a destiny for you as a dancer.
Yes.
And if you have given a chance to decide for yourself which profession you want to, or if somebody has given you third chance, like you have already taken second chance, that God has blessed you there. So which profession that you want to be an youth icon for?
I want to be reborn as Sudha Chandran. Reborn to my parents. बिकॉज मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब माता पिता सोच ही लेते हैं तो हम वो एक्स्ट्रा वो बर्डन हम अपने सर पे क्यों ले. सोच ही लिया, अच्छा ही सोचा है, कुछ बुरा हुआ नहीं है. See, everything has gone beautifully. There was nothing wrong that the decision that my parents took. Probably if I had to take a decision, I would not have been a dancer. So I have explored an avenue probably which I was not even aware of. So it's good. See, dance gives you rhythm, dance gives you a performance to act. Like आज लोग बोलते हैं कि आपसे ज्यादा आपकी आंखें बात करते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं it's because of my dance. People love my acting.
You are an inspiration for many. You have seen already that.
Yeah, but they're also an inspiration. I'm so happy to know that kids are so focused. And I'm so happy to know that so many girls have learned Bharatnatyam here. It's very nice. Great generation. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
My name is Pankaj Soni and I am from Purnima University.
Yes.
Ma'am, my question is, what is the difference between growth, progress and success?
Growth is when you start. It's the starting point. Like when I started dancing, I was looking at growth. Over a period of time, what you earn is your progress. And when you reach a point where you know that you have hit the bullseye, is when the success starts. But success in these three stages, the most difficult part is success. Because when you get success is when your challenge begins. In success, either you should know how to digest your success. Because many a time the line of demarcation between success and failure is very thin. Success should never go to your head. This is what everybody teaches us. Because we have seen people who have been so successful and had that pitfall. And there are people who are very successful and are still grounded and still have played a long innings. So it's very important. So this is how I see, the growth, progress, and success.
Thanks a lot, ma'am,
Thank
for
you
answering
so
all
much.
the questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we are going to launch our magazine, Jaipurian World, and I would like to invite Professor Prabhat Pankaj sir and Professor Lokesh Vijayvargiya and Professor Anvay Bhargav for unveiling our magazine, Jaipurian World. MRC team may also be here. Okay, Sreji, please come. All the MRC students may come down here on the stage. MRC students, MRC team, please come.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the Jaipuria Institute of Management. Thanks to Madhulika, who initiated my coming here. And it's been a beautiful afternoon. And सबके पेट में चूहे दौड़ रहे होंगे, भूख लग रही होगी. पर अगर खाने से पहले कुछ
हो जाए, अभी पहले एक मोमेंटो का है, फिर उसके बाद. I would also again request Professor Prabhat Pankaj and Professor Lokesh Vijayvargiya to come down here to present the memento as a token of gratitude. Please come. Please come. Please come.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप आए यहाँ आए, बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग सेशन था आपका, और जितनी बातें आपने बताई बहुत ही लाइफ को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, और रियल बातें आपने बताई जिंदगी को कैसे आगे ले जाना है, और पॉजिटिविटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है लाइफ में, जो आपने सिखाया सबको, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। Okay, so now we are going to have a performance, okay, and students will also be joining us in the performance, क्योंकि सुधा मैम आई हैं और उनके साथ हम लोग भी थोड़ा डांस नहीं करें तो मजा नहीं आएगा।
ये सारे ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न्स तो मैं करती हूँ अपने सीरियलों में। अब इन्होंने दिखाया ना कि ये फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से है, क्लाइमैक्स इन्होंने चेंज कर दिया अभी, पर मैं तब करूंगी जब हमारे बच्चे डांस करेंगे।
आज तो हमारे बच्चों का दिन है।
आई नो भूख लग रही होगी, थोड़ा डांस वांस कर लेंगे और खा पाएंगे हम लोग,
क्योंकि ये कॉन्फ्रेंस तो बच्चों के लिए ही है, तो इसलिए बच्चे भी हमारे साथ ही डांस करेंगे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल करेंगे, क्यों नहीं करेंगे। Come, come.
Let us put on the music.
Join. Or you want me to come there? Do you want me to come there? Do you want me to come there?
Devesh, we can remove the things. Yeah. देवेश जी, ये थोड़ा सा Okay, so you may start the song. आइए आप ही करना एक मिनट। बच्चे आ रहे हैं मैम।
अरे ठीक है, भूख लगी है। अरे कोई आज का गाना बजाओ भैया, है ना? Okay, I'll start with this one, but then go for something that the kids know. Yeah. Yes, girls, please come on the stage. That's okay. You don't know Bharatanatyam. Come on the stage, girls. Hello. गीत पवन ने प्यार के आज नहीं मन बस में मेरे सुंदर पूरा नाच मयूरी। The song, please change the song. तुम लोग जाओ भाई कर लो, मुझे आगे बढ़ने लगी। तेरे दिल की इशारे तो बढ़ने लगी।
Oh my God, तुझे लगता बुरा, मुझे लगता बुरा, सारा इसकी वजह है तेरा. Students, please settle down. Please give ma'am the space. Please settle down. Go back to your seats. Please spread yourself. Give her the space, please. Everyone, please settle down. Yeah, all the students, please stay here only. Hello. Students, please go back to your seat. Okay, please. Please, guys, give her some time. Now there's an announcement. This is a lunch break till 2:15. All the students are requested to have your lunch at the same place wherein you had your tea. Both. And all the faculty staffs of and the candidates, the presenters, please have their lunch inside the campus area. And all